Hello guys and welcome back to Spoken Essays. I am Harshal Vora and you are watching freeCodeCamp tutorial where we are learning HTML and CSS, and let us begin without wasting much more time, and let's go. So I'll share my screen with you guys, and as you can see here we finished building a piano. So you know what, let me just go to the last step and put these values again so that you guys can see what we did the last time, and we can resume from that step. So what does this say? For the new media variables. So I know what I'm supposed to be doing. So you guys will hear some music in the background, but until then you can just listen to me. Great guys, great going guys. So now I'm done with building a I'm done with building a piano. We finished that tutorial the last time too, but I just finished the last step for you guys to get in that frame of mind. Now we're not going to do the technical documentation page in this live video, so we're going to go directly to building a city skyline. So let me open this CSS. So what does it say? So we're going to learn CSS variables. So that's also a new topic. So you can see that this is the CSS variables by building a city skyline. So what does this say? CSS variables help you organize your styles and reuse them. So the way I have been reusing them is using copy and paste. Maybe they'll show us a better way. In this course you'll build a city skyline. You'll learn how to configure CSS variables so you can reuse them whenever you want. That is very cool. So maybe if I have, let's say मैंने एक selector को settings apply किए हैं और मुझे वो settings भी लेनी है और दूसरे भी settings लेने हो, तो मैं क्या करूँगा? We'll find out. Don't worry guys, we'll get there. But let's begin with this. And as you can see here, this is the project with 118 steps. So maybe it will have slower steps. पता नहीं वो city skyline कैसी दिखती है, वो हमने अभी तक देखी नहीं है. But we'll see what it looks like, and then we'll understand how the z index or different functions work. So let's begin. we have this. Oh my god, this is what we're supposed to build. Okay, what is that? What is that? I mean, look at that. You know, we have linear gradients going on. We have this with some linear gradients with some percentage. This does not have a linear gradient at all. This is a gray shape. Oh my god, we have different shapes. This is a triangle, this is a rectangle. These are, of course, most of them are rectangles. Then we have this, they have another triangle here that almost looks like, wow, half a, well, what would you say, pentagon, maybe a hexagon. Then what else do we have? We also have these oval shapes. Wow, that is just wow. We're going to use a lot of div elements, I believe, I hope. And you can see this circle is a little bit blurry. It's not sharp at all. Unlike these sharp buildings, this is blurry, and it has a spread radius of at least maybe 50 pixels, maybe more, I don't know, let's find out. But this is what we're going to build. That is very cool. A lot of div elements are about to come, so let's go. I'll press start coding, and then we can begin here with the first step. So of course the first step is the declaration. So doc type, and before the doc type I have to add the exclamation. So doc type HTML, and I'll write HTML. That is the declaration. It doesn't matter if the text HTML is all caps or lowercase, but that's how I like to do it. So what does this step say? Welcome to the CSS variables skyline project. Thank you. We'll start by adding the doc type HTML declaration at the top of the document so the browser knows what type of document it's reading. Yes, thank you for that explanation. We can go to the next step now. Step 2. Add opening and closing HTML tags below the doc type so you have a place to start putting some code. That's where we put the code inside the HTML tag. So HTML opening tag will also ask us to put the language attribute, but not now, so maybe later. So we put the slash, and what else? We're also supposed to set the language to English, which I'll happily do. So language equals double quotes AN, and we can go to the next step. That is some good music right there. Next, add opening and closing head and body tags. You know what, just give me a second, why don't you guys also listen to that music? You will enjoy this. So what I'll do is now so we're going to add the head and body tags in the HTML element, and probably after that we'll also add the meta elements, but one thing at a time. So after head we'll give it the body element copy करके उसको paste कर देंगे, and we'll put the slash, and then we can go to the next step. We have reached the fourth step easily, very easily. Now within the head, nest a meta element. So let's nest a meta element. So what I'll do is I'll write meta. We'll probably use so what does they say? Nest element with a char set, and a title element with a title, and a link element. Okay, so we're supposed to add 3 elements. The first one is char set, and in double quotes we write, of course, UTF-8, sorry, not 9. We close this. Meta is a self-closing tag. After that we add the title tag. So for title, TITLE, title does not need any attributes so far. We haven't added any attributes to title so far, but let's finish this. And we'll add the closing title tag, and TITLE, the typos continue, and city skyline. So we have the city skyline, and now we'll also link the element. If we want to go with a good order that looks nice, so we can also do this. I'll put it between this because the title will be used, so we can keep it separate from the meta and the link elements. Link is also a self-closing tag. In this we'll mention the relationship to style sheet, and I added the plus sign instead of the equal sign, sorry about that. And and now we'll also link the sheet by using href, hypertext reference, double quotes. In double quotes I'll write styles.css. Notice guys how there isn't a / now, and we can go to the next step. In CSS, you can target everything with an asterisk. Yes, we can. We came across that rule so many times. So now we are in CSS. So now we're going to do something with the asterisk so that all the elements get applied that rule, whatever rule we're going to apply. अच्छा, add a border. तो हर एक element को भी हम लोग border देने वाले हैं. Interesting. So what we'll do is we'll give it a border of 1px. Nothing will be visible yet. I'll give it the colon and the semicolon. Oh, sorry. I'll give it the colon and the semicolon values. You can see, you cannot see anything so far because we haven't added any elements yet, any text element, nothing yet. But we will see that. Do not worry. And it says this is a trick that helps visualize where elements are and their size. Yes, that is true. That's exactly what I used to do. Instead of border, I used to give them the background color attribute, but this also works. And how I can show it, so in the body tag, just quickly I'll show you. So what we do is, what if I give it a p tag, sorry, p, narrate something, now close the p tag, and you can see this does not have a border. So I think p may not be a block. I can also make p a block by doing this, display property to block. Guys, I am going a little bit astray here, but do not worry. So display, I'll write block. Oh my god, that happened. And you can see that p, what if I remove this? Wow, that is so cool. Something happened to all the elements. So now we can see all the elements as block. So you can play with all of that, but you know what, I will not go into this. These are all functions, these are all arguments which we have no clue about. This is an if argument, well, if function, but you know what, that's not for us to understand for now. So I will remove this. What if I write inline? If I make it inline, we can still see that code. Regardless, leave that. What if I give it a div? I think div में आपको समझ आ जाएगा हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं. So div के अंदर text लिखता है. क्या बात है, क्या बात है. Wow. But yeah, let's see what happens. What if I give it? We can play with these settings, but I will go with the next step. Instead of this, ये सब div नहीं चाहिए. You can go to the next step. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. Actually, we are also supposed to add it, give it the value of solid and black. Cool. And now you can see all the elements, including the .html element. Well, not the dot. The HTML element is inside that. So, what if I give? If I write p here now? Of course, p will be inside that. You can see. You can immediately see a border coming. Close p, and I'll write something in here. You can see that is also inside a border. Moving on, so then we have given it the values. This p value is not a part of the steps. The p element, I just added it to show you guys what it looks like, and you can see here a border anyway. We can check the code and then we can go to the next step. It said, and it also said you can remove this later, you will remove this later. So this is only for visualization, so that we know what we're doing, what we know, what we are making, and what it looks like. Okay, now we'll also give it a property of box sizing. We also gave box sizing property in the previous project. So quickly, sizing and border box. So has anything changed? Nothing changed so far. Maybe this will come in handy later. So what does this say? Let's read. This will make it so the border you added doesn't add any size to your elements. I see. Let's change the p element now. Maybe do something to the p element and find out what it actually how it affects the display. without the box sizing and with the box sizing, what difference does it make? Nothing so far. Maybe it has something to do with the div elements. We will find that out in the later parts. But it says this will make it so the border you added doesn't add any size to your elements. So it doesn't if I think it add any size, तो वो कुछ affect नहीं करेगा जैसे हमने border sizing use किया है तो. Moving on, we can go to the next challenge, and what does this say? You can see the body. It's the you can see the body. We can see the body. It's the innermost box on your page. That is the innermost box on our page. The box around it is the HTML element. So I can open this in the preview for you guys to understand. You can see the preview. Oh my god, that is a small border. What if I zoom in the page? That looks much better. You can see the border now. So that border is visible to you guys. So that is the body element. That's the innermost box. So this, what I call the innermost box, is the body element. The box around it is the HTML element. We would call this the HTML element. ये है. And what does this say? So the box around it is make your body fill the whole viewport. So 100 of the view height. Okay, so viewport's height. Okay, let's see. So so we are outside of that element selector now. Now we are in, so make your body fill the whole viewport. So we're going to manipulate the body. We're going to use a type selector. So notice how I haven't added a hash or a dot sign. Okay, so how are we going to? So we're going to make the height 100 of the viewport height. What changed? So you can see that it's now we can see two borders. Oh, I can see the two borders now. If you notice these two lines, it is very thin, but it is hardly visible. What if I zoom out? Yeah, that is not a viable option. You can see यहाँ पे end होता है ये, और यहाँ पे आपको एक दूसरी line दिख रही है. That you can see that. So that is the HTML. The first line you see is the HTML box, and this is the body box. And we've given it the height, given the body the height of 100 viewport height. Remove the default margin from the body. So default margin हम लोग हटा देंगे. Default margin कुछ होती होगी, हमने हटा दिए. So now it's covering the 100% of the HTML. अगर मैं इस पे लिखता 100 तो इतनी बॉडी बन जाती और जो भी कंटेंट हम डालते वो सब इसमें दिखता. And this would all be in the HTML document. Anyway, let's make it 0 again. Finally, set the overflow property to hidden so that कुछ भी overflow था उसके अंदर से तो वो hide हो जाएगा. So something extends past the viewport. So yeah, it makes sense. अगर कुछ viewport के बाहर जा रहा है, viewport is this screen, the size of the screen. अगर कुछ भी इसके बाहर जा रहा है, text, object, color, whatever you want to call it, then it will disappear. It will be hidden. It will act hidden. So what I'll do is I'll write the property overflow, and I'll write hidden in semicolon, and we can see nothing so far. हाँ, क्योंकि बॉडी अभी चली गई, बॉडी की बॉर्डर में मार्जिन में हटा दिए, so you can't see anything. But yeah, we go to the next step. Now we are on step 8. What does this do? So create a div element in the body with a class of background building. So just a second guys, let me lower the volume a little bit. Yes, that's good. So what does this say? Yeah, that makes sense. Create a div element in the body with a class of background buildings. Okay, this will be a container for a group of buildings. Yep. So we can do that. So we go to the body, we press tab twice. So yeah, we press tab twice and we can see that we have moved 4 spaces. You could also achieve the same result by pressing space 4 times. 1, 2, 3 and 4. I think I added I did it 5 times. Okay, so we'll give it a div element. div के अंदर class value डालेंगे, double quotes, we'll write it says background hyphen buildings BACKGROUND and buildings. Yep, and we'll close the div tag and we can go to the next step. Thank you so much for watching, one viewer. Give your dot background buildings. So now we're going to target the class which is background buildings, and we'll in the curly bracket add width and the height. So because this is a new CSS file, we haven't added the width and the height property yet, so we can't reuse anything, but it will probably show us. So the way use the 100% of the width. So this class will use 100% of the width, and the height will be also 100%. वे पूरा लेना है और कुछ नहीं करना है. We will also make it full. Make it the full width and height of its parent, the body. तो ये body में पूरा दिखेगा. That is a weird way to say. Okay. Now we go to step 10. Next a div. So इसके अंदर हम लोग next करेंगे एक और div with a class called bb1. So it's probably building 1. Maybe bb1 is bb1. I wouldn't know, but let's see. So what does this say? Next a div in with a class of bb1. So हम लोग बनाएंगे div. You know what? I can copy this. Yes. I'll press enter. Now we're inside that div, and instead of background buildings, I can make it. bb1. So bb1 बना दिया है इसको. And then what are we supposed to do? Then we open the styles.css file. It's open to our right, and the preview is of course open in a new tab. So but it's completely empty, so I'm not showing anything to you yet. क्योंकि हम लोग जब बैकग्राउंड कलर डालेंगे तो धीरे धीरे कुछ आने लगेगा, कुछ हाइट वेट डालेंगे तब वो दिखने लगेगा. बाय डिफ़ॉल्ट इट्स ऑल वाइट. सो व्हाट इज दिस सपोज्ड टू डू? सो but notice guys how we've added the div elements, but we still can't see anything in here क्योंकि अभी भी उनकी width और height full है div class. अभी उसके अंदर bb1 की probably हम लोग with height 10%, 70%. Yeah, you can see that. So now we're going to make a building. So I'll go to the styles.css, press enter 2 times, and we'll give .bb1. So we're going to target this class. bb1 dot is a class selector, so we'll give it a width and height. So I'll copy these properties and I can paste them, and I can change it to my liking. So well, not to my liking, according to what the tutorial asks. So if I'll make it 10 and 70%, and you can see a box has appeared with a border 1%. Namaskar, Mr. Bihar Panther. Thank you so much for joining again. Shri Ram, क्या बात है? Great. Enjoy watching the HTML. आज हम build कर रहे हैं city. We're going to build not a city. We're going to build a city skyline. So city skyline में हम लोग step 10 पे ही join किए हैं. So you can you can pretty much understand what we are doing. So and there are a few additional steps, so it will help you immensely if you go back maybe 20 minutes and start with the first step, but doesn't matter. So next a div, ये भी कर दिया. bb stands for background building. Okay, so they have told us. So this is the background building number 1, bb1. bb stands for background building. This will be your first building. So हम लोग अभी पहली building बना रहे हैं. Makes sense. Now we are still in the index.html file. Next 4 div elements इसके अंदर div करने वाले हैं, and we'll give them classes this. So मैं इसी div को copy कर दूंगा और इसके अंदर मैं 4 elements को nest करूंगा. So 1, 2, let's press enter. It looks better that way. So give them the classes bb1a, bb1b, bb1c, and d. Okay, so a, b, b, c, d. This building will have 4 sections. Yep, we haven't एंड यू कैन सी दोस 4 सेक्शंस. तो हमने ऐसा रूल सेट ही कर दिया कि जितने भी एलिमेंट्स है सारे एलिमेंट्स को वो बॉर्डर दिखा रहा है. तो हम लोग जारे भी जितने भी बॉर्डर्स जितने भी एलिमेंट्स डालेंगे, जितने भी डिव एलिमेंट्स डालेंगे, हम लोग पी एलिमेंट्स डालेंगे, हर एक की वो बॉर्डर दिखाई देगा. I can see another comment from Bihar Panther. Yes, enjoy the video. And और क्या बता रहा है ये? So we can go to the next step now. So what does this say? Give the parts of your building width and height properties with these values. Okay. Parts of your building. So BB1 को हम लोग इतने देंगे values. Then BB2 को ये देंगे. I see. अच्छा, तो 70% to this to BB1A. So हम लोग, why don't I copy this and I will reuse these values. But first let's finish this. We'll probably reuse these values, it makes sense. Remember that these percentages are relative to the parent and note that the heights will add up to 100%. Yes, they are relative and vertically filling the container. You can see 70%, 100%. Yes, they are relative to the container. And they will vertically fill the container. So we'll put the first value, then the second, third and fourth. हमने 4 selectors डाल दिए हैं. First will be BB1A. BB1A में हम width and height. So width will be 70% and the height will be 10%. No problem. I can make this 70 and I will make this 10%. And you can see a box. You can still see more boxes. Then we go to BB1, we check the width. So what does this say? BB1, इसकी value इसको दे देते हैं BB1B. And you can see a weird placement now, but nothing to worry about. So what does this say? BB1A 80% and this 10%. So 80% and height, sorry, 10, one more, 10%. So see, okay. And we can see 2 boxes now. In that order. Okay, so BB1A को 70-10, BB1B को 80-10%, then C को 90-10 and D को 170. So 90-10 डाल देते हैं पहले, 90 and 10. This will be BB1C. And you will immediately see the difference. These are all in different order. Then remember the okay, so अभी D पे डाल देते हैं. For D it will be 170%. So 170% to BB1B. And you can see this is covering the rest of the container. Makes sense. Now we go to the next step. आपने देखा with 100%. So ये जिस कंटेनर में है उसकी with उसने 100% ले ली है. Now we go to the next step. And what does this say? So center the parts of your building by turning the .bb1 element into a flexbox parent. So this is a flex. Now we'll make this a flexbox and we'll move the flexbox according to our wishes. So flexbox बनाने के लिए हम लोग लिखेंगे display, not display, and I'll write flex. We're not using justify for now. And what will, so we made it a flexbox parent. Now the moment I made it a flexbox parent, this happened. Interesting. Before it was like this and now it's like this. It has something to do with flexbox. Now we'll change the direction. Oh, I see. So now we'll use flex hyphen direction. We'll give it a value align hyphen items and semicolon. Any change so far? Nope, nothing so far. But yeah, because it says flex direction, not direction. Nothing changed in the preview yet, but we've added the property align items. Oh, there's something wrong with this app. So what are we supposed to do? Property and acha, okay. So align items is also a property. I'm sorry about that. I'll press X, yeah, and I'll press paste that here. I'm so sorry, I did not read that first. We're supposed to use two properties. Align items को हम लोग पहले center कर देंगे, and flex direction should be, what properties does this have? Does it have center? What if we didn't have this before? It does not change. So इसको करने से कुछ change नहीं हुआ, so I'm not sure whether we are supposed to do that. Yep, we are still wrong. You guys cannot see, can you? Yes. So it says the X. I'm not going to read the hint for now. I'm going to find out what value we can put, so we can put it in the center. So I'll go to w3schools.com. In that we will find this variable called flex direction. So I'll write flex. So I'll use command X to find that, and you can see the highlights here. तो इसमें से हम लोग flex direction को choose करेंगे. That's much better. Now what does this say? So set the direction of the flexible items. Okay. Set the direction. अभी हम लोग क्या क्या directions use कर सकते हैं? तो भी row reverse, column reverse, initial, inherit. We came across inherit in the previous video, in the previous live. You can check that out. You can check the previous live video for what did we build? Why don't you guys tell me in the comments what we built in the previous video, and I will go back to this step. So where were we? Yes, so instead of center, you want it to center, you want to center the children. So what does this do? Displayed as a column row. I should try row then. If they are in a row, oh sorry. So instead of this, I will write row, R-O-W, oh sorry. Row, no change. Or if I make it a column, column is L-U-M-N, sorry. And these are now columns. So what does this do? So single path of the building, okay, place of parent, use the place of direction. Let's see whether they wanted it in, how do you want it in the center? Let's see. Yes, so they wanted it, they as in freeCodeCamp wanted it to be a column, 3 different columns in this order. Okay, let's go to the next step. Step 14. Now you have something that is resembling a building. Yeah, yes, we do. Yes, we do. So you are ready to create your first variable. So now we're going to learn what CSS variables are. Variable declarations begin with 2 dashes. So that's how we know. When we see 2 dashes, we understand that it is a variable. So 2 dashes and are given a name and a value like this, and जो भी variable नाम है वो, and then we give it the value attribute. अच्छा, so variable is that a property? Are variables properties? Let's read. So in the rule for BB1 class, create a variable named this. अच्छा. Okay. What will it do? Let's find out. So double hyphens, 2 dashes, then we write building building hyphen color, then we use 1, then I give it the colon, then I give it the hash color value of 999. No change in the preview tab, so maybe we haven't defined the building color yet. Do not worry. So let's see what this will do. थोड़ा और scroll कर देता हूँ, आपको शायद दिख नहीं रहा. हाँ, yes, you can see it now. So हमने ये text add किया, building color 1999, and it says this is a gray color. But यहाँ पे हमें कुछ दिख नहीं रहा, so maybe it will take some time. We are talking about BB1, so this is the BB1. We'll get there, don't worry. So that is a variable declaration. That is a CSS variable. अभी हम लोग क्या करेंगे? To use a variable, put the variable name in parentheses with var, which is variable, in front of them like this. अच्छा, तो हमने variable यहाँ पे declare किया. अभी हम लोग BB1 A पे गए, bb1a क्या है, लेट मी ओपन दिस प्रीव्यू इन दिस कंसोल। तो यहाँ पे आपको दिख जाएगा हम लोग कर क्या रहे हैं। so यहाँ पे गए एंड व्हाट विल आई डू, सो बस एंटर, I will write var, which is the variable, that is the variable property, and the name of the variable. So variables begin with this, so I'll copy this building color 1, background color property, so I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. So background color 1 aa gaya. So what else does this say, whatever value you gave the variable will be applied to whatever the property you use it on. तो ये हमने बना दी एक property and we'll give it a value. You can see there is a red underline below this bracket, but don't worry guys, slowly जाएंगे. Whatever value you give the variable will be applied to whatever property you use it on. अच्छा, and the variable you created in the previous step as the value of background color property in the BBY class. So when this is not a property, we're going to use this as a value. Interesting. Okay, so I'll write background hyphen color color. We have background color and we can see that the color has been applied. So that's how we use variables. I'm sure we'll understand more and more uses for these variables in the next step. And I'll put the semicolon, of course. Great. So that's how we apply a variable to a child element. Excuse me. Use the same variable as the background color of the BB1, BBC and classes to fill the rest of the building. Okay. So I'll copy these values. Oh, sorry. So this is how we reuse values using the variable. यहाँ पे डाल दिया. बैकग्राउंड में कुछ ना कुछ चल ही रहा है. कितनी सीटी बजी आप सुन के बताइएगा इस कमेंट्स में. तो अभी हमने इन सब बॉक्सेस को कलर दे दिया है, बट द मेन बिल्डिंग डज नॉट हैव ए कलर. We can go to the next step. Now what we can see here is step 17, change the value of your variable from 999 to a, and you can see how it gets applied everywhere. This is the main advantage of using variables, being able to quickly change many values in your style sheet by just changing the value of a variable. Let's find out. And yeah, exactly, it makes sense. अगर मैं यहाँ पे कलर चेंज करूँगा तो हर एक जगह पे वो कलर अप्लाई कर देगा. So instead of this I'll write AA80FF. The color has changed and it works. We can go to the next step. So now we are on step 18. Your first building looks pretty good now. Okay, it does. यहाँ अच्छी तरह दिख रही है building. Next 3 new div elements. Okay. अच्छा, so now we're back in the HTML file. Sorry, I pressed. Okay. Now we are back to the HTML file and we'll nest 3 div elements in the dot background buildings. So that is a class. So that is a div with the class background hyphen buildings container, and give them the classes of bb2, bb3 and bb4. So now we're going to make another background building called bb2, bb3 and bb4. You can see here how we have this. So अभी जैसे हमने ये बनाया bb1, we'll probably nest these in the next buildings too, but for now we're going to copy this. So ये मैं copy कर देता हूँ and I'll go here. Notice guys how we are still inside background building. So अभी हम लोग इसी div के अंदर काम कर रहे हैं. So let's go to div class bb1. So I'll go there. I pressed tab thrice to get here. 3 टैब दबाने से ये यहाँ पे मैं आ गया. Now if you notice the line here, we are still inside div class background buildings. This is not nested inside bb1a, for your information. Now इस पे मैं लिख दूँगा div को close करते हैं, and we have this div class bb1 div. Okay, हमें कितने चाहिए? और 3 चाहिए. So we change the 1 to 2 1 to 3 and again 1 to 4. So now we have 4 buildings inside this. अभी उसकी width height हम सब set करेंगे और उसके साथ खेलेंगे. These will be the 3 more buildings for the background. Yep. So now we are on step 19. Now we're back to styles.css. Yeah. पहले हमने HTML वाला ज़्यादा टाइप किया था in the previous projects. Now we are dealing more with CSS because it's more related to styles, designs, how it looks. So give the new buildings width and height properties. Give the new buildings. So हमें हर एक class को select करना पड़ेगा. So I can open this HTML file for reference. तो अभी नए buildings को हम लोग देंगे height and width properties. Height properties इसमें देखिए समझ आ रहा है कि 10% हम लोग BB2 को देंगे. You can see that height and width. So this will be 10% width, then 10% and 55% for BB3. You can see that यहाँ पे लिखा ही है, and 11 and 58% for BB4. So I can reuse the values I used first. So what I'll do is मैंने BB1 भी ये सब नहीं, मैं यहाँ पे जाऊँगा. अभी तक वो सब नहीं करना है ना with height. So you know what, I'll copy from here till here. BB1 की वैल्यू को मैं चेंज करूँगा BB2 से. And what does it say? You will be using almost all percent based units and some flexbox for this project, so everything will be completely responsive. Yes. So यहाँ पे मैं trace कर देता हूँ, paste. I'll close the curly bracket. अभी मैं इसको reuse कर देता हूँ and I can tweak the values later. Oh, sorry, not this. After that, paste. So now we can change these. I should add another one. So it somehow it only copied the curly bracket for this. So okay, so now we can change this to BB2. BB2 में क्या क्या values डालनी है? तो 10% width and 50% height. So width is already 10%. We will make the height 50%. You can see that it's below that now. Then we go to BB3. BB3 is, what is that? So, 10 and 55%. So I'll keep the width 10 again and I'll change the height to 55%. Change आपको यहाँ पे दिखेगा. Unfortunately I cannot scroll with this thing, but well, I can scroll, but I cannot scroll the preview for some reason. What else? So 10, अच्छा 55% करना था. Nope, nothing changed. So BB2 में 10 and 50%, then BB3 में 10 and 55%, yes, and for BB4 11 and 58%. So BB4, instead of 10% it will be 11 and this will be 58. अभी तक कुछ change नहीं हुआ है यहाँ पे, probably because maybe we made a mistake. I don't know. Let's see. BB2, BB3, BB. Okay, and width and height, and we have given it closing curly brackets. Yep. Maybe it's because of the color. अभी हम लोग we are still in styles.css. The buildings are currently stacked on top of each other, as we can see here. Yeah. So BB2 is below this, BB3 is below this, BB4 is below that. How do I know that? So I can show you the preview and you can see they're stacked below this. Okay, so what are we to do now? The buildings are currently stacked. Align the buildings by turning the background buildings element into a flexbox parent. So we have background buildings. What is background buildings? So background buildings is the parent element. This is the background buildings. This is inside the body. So ये सबसे पहला div है. How do I know? Because इसकी width और height 100% रखी है. Okay, and we'll use flexbox. So हम लोग पहले लिखेंगे इसको flexbox बनाने के लिए display and I'll write flex. फिर हम लोग क्या यूज़ करेंगे? हम लोग use align items and justify content. So I'll use align hyphen items. Align items हमने कुछ भी यूज़ किया था, तो evenly space. अच्छा, So I'll use justify hyphen content and I'll write space evenly और यहाँ पे भी सेमीकोलन डाल देता हूँ. अलाइन आइटम्स में हम लोग क्या लिखेंगे? सेंटर. I can reuse the properties from above or below, I would say. इसमें सब वेरिएबल डाल दिए थे. Yes. Where did we use that? We did not use it. Maybe didn't use this use it for this. Yes, it says align item and align items center. So they will be in center and they will be evenly spaced. So CNTR. You can see they are moved to the center now. 1 2 3 4. So they are spaced evenly. तो ये डिस्टेंस और ये डिस्टेंस में कोई फ़र्क नहीं होगा. ये डिस्टेंस और ये डिस्टेंस में कोई फ़र्क नहीं होगा. ये डिस्टेंस और ये डिस्टेंस में फ़र्क नहीं होगा. Or maybe even if there is, they are placed evenly, so you can see that there is an even distance between them. But that means the same thing. Anyway, okay, that's what we were supposed to do to evenly space the buildings across the bottom of the element. Across the bottom. So instead of center, I will write bottom. In a way, they are on top. Interesting. What if I write top? They are still on top, so that is not a valid property. Top, but center is. So alignment if left right center करता होगा. So I'll make it center again. But as I can see, it is not right. क्या बोल रहा है? Element into a flex box parent. तुमने display से flex box बना दिया. फिर align items and justify content से across the bottom of the element. So it is not on the bottom. So how do we get it to bottom? So I'll go and check align items property values. And I'll use control F hyphen items align hyphen items. यहाँ पे मुझे दिख रहा है CSS properties के अंदर align items. So what properties are we allowed? So normal, stretch, center, flex, end. We can use this at the end of the container, but it will be in the corner then. And then this says end of the individual cells. This also has center. What can we use to put it at the bottom? Like what's the difference between flex end and end? So at the end of the container and in the block direction. And what if we use baseline? Maybe let's try using baseline. Maybe that will work. So baseline. Nope. There is something else. What else? So items are positioned at the end. Let's write end, end. So end is what we were supposed to use. Maybe if I write flex end, is there a difference? Flex end में यहाँ पे कोई difference नहीं लग रहा है. I'm going to use end. That did not work. Yes, we'll use flex end. And when I used flex end, it worked. So now we can see that now they're sitting at the bottom. We'll probably make this a triangle, I hope. Maybe not. Let's see. Okay, we go to the next step. Now we are on step 21. Now what does this say? The buildings are too spaced out. I agree. Squeeze them together by adding 2 empty div elements to the top of the building element. To the top. अच्छा, तो वो जगह ले लेगा. But it will not have a class. But it will have a border. क्या बता रहे? So squeeze them together by adding 2 empty. अरे बाप रे. Oh my god, what happened to you? What if I remove the class? Now it's in one line. अरे बाप रे. Because it's probably part of one div. So make it this way. You can see there's more space at the left side of the page. I'll copy this. And now we have 2 divs, so there is even more space. You can see div की border सिर्फ इतनी ही दिखा रही है. यहाँ पे it's almost invisible. मैं अगर माउस यहाँ पे कर रहा हूँ, यहाँ पर आपको जो spokenessays लिखा है, I think over that side. How do the directions work? So आपको यहाँ पे corner पे देखेंगे screen के. This is where I'm moving the mouse. You can see the mouse here. You can see the mouse and you can see these or these dots have appeared. So that's the div, because all the elements inside this HTML document have a border now, so we will be able to see them. अभी हम लोग ये copy कर देते हैं div. What does this say? So squeeze and by adding 2 empty div elements to the top of the background buildings. ये कर दिया. 2 more at the bottom of it and 1 more in between BB3 and BB4. So this is BB1, BB2, BB3 and BB4. So यहाँ पे एक और empty डालेंगे. Before that, let me put 2 div elements. Oh yeah, the spacing. What happened? Interesting. Anyway, I will decrease the size again. That was very cool. Okay, whatever happened, I'll scroll up a little bit. So यहाँ पे हमने 2 div elements डालेंगे. Tab, tab, tab. 3 tabs do the job. Here I will also paste this. एक div को हटा देंगे. So we have 1 div now. And we can see that there is 1 div here. There are 2 divs here, and there are 2 divs on our left. Nice. Now we can go to the next step. ये क्या बता रहा है? Create a new variable below your building -color 1 variable. So यहाँ पे एक और variable बनाने वाले हैं. Variable शुरू होते हैं 2 dashes से. अब इसको क्या देंगे वैल्यू? इसको देंगे building color 2. क्यों इसमें? And give it a value of this, then set it as background color of BB2. Interesting. Why? I don't know. I can see we have a comment. Thank you, Papa. And I will write Chalti. I can copy these values. I can paste that. And instead of color 1, it will become building color 2. Building का दूसरा color, and now we can have 66CC99. क्या चेंज हुआ? कुछ चेंज हुआ क्योंकि हमने अभी तक अप्लाई नहीं किया है. Inside is the background color of BB2. So this must be BB2. This thing, I could be wrong. Let's find out. So yeah, we're applying it to BB2. So no problem. Why is it in BB1? तो हम लोग BB2 में क्यों रहता है? There must be some logic. We will follow that. So we go to BB2. Here I go here and I write BACKGROUND -color colon space semicolon. Let's see whether it has been applied. Nope, nothing changed because there is a colon here too. Oh yeah, and yeah, we should also declare it as a variable because it's a variable property. Almost forgot. और ये हमें कलर वैल्यू डालने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. What? Why? BB2. We are in the BB2 building. Background color var this. ये सब डालना तो सही. Let's read it again. So create a new variable below your building color 1 variable. Name your new variable -- building -color 2 and give it a value of 66CC99. Then set it as the background color of .bb2. So we हम लोग .bb2 में गए. BACKGROUND -color semicolon colon VAR open bracket double - building color 2. डाल तो दिया. What is your problem? Why can't I see the color now? Maybe yes, it says that didn't work. So yeah, it purposefully said that. You should add a fallback value to a variable by putting it as a second fallback. भी डालेंगे. Fallback डालने के लिए सिर्फ we use comma and space. So the property will use the fallback value when there is a problem with the variable. Add a fallback value of green to the background color of BB2. So GREN. ये भी नहीं काम किया. अरे बाप रे. Why? But I gave it the fallback value. अच्छा, oh sorry. Yeah, it should be inside the comma. It's inside the brackets. So green, and we can see the green color has appeared. Now we go to step 24. create a new variable, ठीक है, नया वेरिएबल बनाएंगे below the other ones. सब bb1 के अंदर ही वेरिएबल्स बनाने वाले हैं apparently, and then we give it the value building color 3. ये उठा लेते हैं ना, क्यों नहीं, and we can change the values. So instead of 66cc it will become cc6699. so command x and command paste. We haven't added that color to any selectors yet, so it won't be visible. अभी हम लोग bb3 में वो ये डालने वाले हैं, but no problem. And we'll change the number 2 from 3 to 2. Let me copy these and use it as a background color of the bb3 class and give it the fallback value of pink. Okay, we go to bb3 now and back ck round hyphen color, and we paste this semicolon. Unfortunately we also have to write var variable var variable, okay, var, anyway, then we give it var and we write pink as the fallback value, and we can see the color has appeared. When I point it over there, I should actually be pointing this way. Yes, so it has appeared. Okay, and we can go to the next step. That didn't work. Yes, because the variables declared we do not cascade to. So cascade, finally जो हम पढ़ रहे हैं उसका कोई word आया, cascading style sheets. So let's see, what does that mean? A small waterfall, typically one of several that falls in stages. So it did not fall in stages. Maybe हम लोग computing का meaning देखते हैं. A mass of something that falls or hangs in copious quantities, a large number or amount of something occurring at the same time. A cascade of anti-war literature. A process whereby something, typical information or knowledge is successively passed on. So the knowledge is not successively passed on, unfortunately. Okay. A succession of devices or stages in the process, each of which triggers or initiates the next. So it did not trigger the color. Okay. So as you declared, the variables declared bb1 do not cascade to bb2 and bb3 sibling elements. Yes, that's just how siblings, so because they're brothers. So that's just how CSS works. Because of this, variables are not often declared in the root selector. Okay, are often declared in the root selector. Acha. This is a pseudo selector. We can see that there is a colon before the word root. Because of these, okay, this is the highest level selector in CSS. Putting your variables there will make them usable everywhere. So add the root selector to the top of your style sheet and move all your variable declarations there. Sif लिखेंगे root, let's find out. Oh, we can see Yogen sir is here. Hello Yogen sir, how are you? Guys, quick shout out. So actually Yogen sir is the one जिसकी comment है यहाँ पे top में. He is the one who showed me the freeCodeCamp website, and because of him I am learning this course. So yeah, so thank you so much Yogen sir, and let's continue with this. So what were we supposed to do? So it says root selector. This is the highest level selector. Add the root selector to the top of your style sheet and move all your variable declarations there. So we put any values there, or do we just put a root selector? So this is the highest level selector. Okay, let me put the colon values and I'll write root. We have the colon value and inside we put the curly brackets, और इसके अंदर हम सारी जो building color variables है वो सारी उठा के रख देंगे. So let me copy that, and then I place the cursor back here and let's press paste. If this works, then it means thank you so much for the amazing emojis. These are really creative. Thank you so much. And I can see we have 4 concurrent viewers. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I appreciate your support. So we can see in CSS these colors have appeared now. पहले हमने जो green color use किया था वो थोड़ा dark था, but we can see now it's a lighter version. The same way this is also a darker version of pink. If you don't believe me, I can remove this and you will be able to see that we indeed are looking at a lighter version. Oh sorry, oh Command Z, yes, okay. So now we can see that this is a darker version of pink and this is also a darker version of pink. So ये root selector से हमारा काम बन गया. Now what else are we supposed to do? So so we moved all the variable declarations here, and let's see, there's still something wrong, so maybe we did something wrong. So let's scroll down and read the hint. Oh, we are also supposed to remove them from here. So when we're moving something, we don't copy it, we cut it. Yes, now it should make sense. Yep, we have the green light. Sorry about that. Yes. So now we are on step 26. क्या बोल रहा है? Now that you've worked the bugs out, yes, and the buildings are the right colors, you can remove the fallback values in the two places they were used. So we use these fallback values because of these fallback values we saw the dark light green color and the light pink color. So I'll remove these fallback values. We also use these fallback values for when we're setting the font, the font family. We have the green light, and then we go to the next step. तो क्या बता रहा है? Step 27, create another variable. So yeah, this is a variable we are going to create. We're going to create another variable with the name building color 4 and give it a value. So I'll copy this text and I'll paste it here. The indentation was also copied, and we'll change the color to 538 CC6. I can see CC is already there. Let me just remove 6699 and I'll write 538 CC and 6. The moment I write that, you will see a box has appeared with this color. अगर आपको देखना हो ये कौन सा color है, I also mentioned this in the previous video. So if you want to see what color it looks like in a color wheel, then you do this. You press the left mouse button twice. So you hover the mouse over here and then you press the left mouse button twice, and that will show me what the value of this color is and where it stands and what the opacity is. Anyway, now we change the name of the variable to building color 4. So now we're going to use building color 4. Yeah, that's the only thing we're going to do with this step. In this step, so make sure it's in the root selector. We did make sure it's in the root selector this time, then use it to fill in the last building. So yeah, we're also supposed to put this selector put this variable put the value of this variable in the last building. So how do we do that? So I scroll down, we go to, I can copy this variable value I can just copy this entire line and I can change it to my benefit. So we go to BB4, I paste it there, indentation bhi aa gaya, and instead of building color 1, I will simply write building color 4. Before I do that, let me show you what it looks like now. That is not a website we are using for now. You can see the color of the first and the fourth building is the same because the value of background color is this variable background color 1. The moment I change 1 to 4, the color will change, and you can see that immediately. And we can go to the next step, that is the green light. Now we go to step 28. The background buildings are starting to look pretty good. Yes, they are. Create a new div below the background buildings. So this is the div. Yeah, this is the complete div background buildings. अभी इसके नीचे एक और div बनाएंगे. Okay, so let's check what the indentation, where the indentation begins. So 2 tabs. We'll use 2 tabs so that the indentation is correct. So not there. I'll go here, I'll press tab twice. So now we are in the same line as this div with the class background building. So now we are going to create a new div below background buildings and give it a class of foreground buildings. So what I'll do is I'll reuse the values here. We'll not copy the line break div class, and we can paste that. And instead of background buildings, let me remove the indentation, and instead of background I will write, instead of back I will write 4, and we have another class. I'll also add a closing tag for div, and we are good to go for the next step. Okay, so step 29, we are back to the styles.css file. So now we'll play with the foreground buildings class. You can see here we just added the class in the previous step, foreground buildings. And going back to CSS file, I can copy this so that I don't have to write all that again. So dot foreground buildings, that is a class selector container to sit directly on top of the background buildings element. Give it a width and height of 100%. I have that before, so note I did not need to write all of that anyway. I could have just, I'll press Command Z and I'll read the complete step first. So what does this say? Give it a width and height of 100%. Set the position to absolute and the top to 0. Okay, we'll have to type this position to absolute and top to 0, but we can copy these properties and values from the previous selector. So I'll scroll up, I'll scroll a little bit more up, and we can see background buildings. So instead of background buildings, we will make it foreground. So let me copy the settings of this, the properties and the values we've set, and we've pasted it nicely. We're not going to use these values now. We'll probably use put these values in the next step probably, but for now we don't need them, so I'll cut them so I can use them again. I can reuse them so that it stays in the clipboard. Now we can see we've reused the settings 100 and 100%. So I'll set the position to absolute so that we can move it anywhere we like in the HTML file, regardless of its position in the HTML file. Sorry, that's not what I should have said. So because of absolute, now we will be able to move the position of the object, whatever object this is, the background buildings, to anywhere in the web page, regardless of its position in the HTML file. Okay, और क्या बोल रहा है, टॉप हम लोग 0 कर देंगे, so that way it will be literally move to the top. You can see, if you can keep your eyes here and you'll see the thickness of this border has changed. If I remove this, you will notice that the border has changed a little. The change is very minute, but if you keep your eyes and ears open, you will see it. This is the largest. Okay, that is me doing that. If I press Command Z, you'll immediately see a little bit difference. छोटा दिख रहा है क्योंकि वो स्क्रीन थोड़ी अलग है, बट इट विल लुक दिस वे. अभी क्या बता रहे हैं? सो टॉप 0%. हाँ, ये पोजीशन और टॉप कर दिया वैल्यूज. नाउ इंस्टेड ऑफ बैकग्राउंड आई विल राइट फोरग्राउंड. that does no effect because we haven't added it a color value. अभी width और height 100% कर दिया, so that means that it will cover the entire web page. Okay, now we can go to the next step 30. So what does this say? Nest 6 div elements, okay, within the stop scrolling, and give them the classes of FB1 through FB6 in that order. FB stands for foreground building because we're dealing with the foreground buildings anyway, so FB1 makes sense. These will be 6 more buildings for the foreground. So in the foreground, so we're using layers, guys. We have been using layers for a while. We used layers for a Picasso building too, but for the not Picasso building, Picasso painting, but in the Picasso painting we specifically dealt with the property Z index, and that's how we played with layers. For this one we're going to use a different div and we're going to place it on top. That will be something. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. Now we're going to put 7 divs inside this, sorry, 6 div elements. So I can copy this and I will change the class of the first div. तो मुझे वो सिर्फ चेंज ना करना पड़ेगा. So foreground buildings में से मैं ये हटा दूँगा B, and for this so we have FB1. So I can use this FB1 and I'll paste it from to make it till 6 in that order. So ये कर दिया, paste. Now we have 3. Let me paste another one. Sorry, paste. I'll copy these 3 so that I will need to copy these 3 and I will paste all the 3 of them. So now we have these 6 values. Oh, we're supposed to only add 6 values. Sorry about that. I'll go from this. So this is 2, this is 3. Oh, not 13. Oh, I have to put the instead of 1 it will become 4, this will become 5, and this will become 6. हमने 6 div elements डाल दिए हैं within foreground buildings. You can see this is the opening div class, div element with the class foreground, and this is the closing div tag. और इसके अंदर हमने nest कर दिया. You can also see the spacing indentation that helps us understand that they are nested now. And we give them the classes FB1, FB2, FB3, FB4, FB5, FB6. FB stands for yep, yeah, makes sense. And we can check. So far so good. Now we go to step 31. क्या बोल रहा है ये? So give the 6 new elements. So now we are back to CSS, width and height values, width and height values, width and height values. We did give them. Are we also supposed to give them background colors? No. So what I'll do is I will go up. We already gave BB4 such values जहाँ पे width value with 10% रहती है, but the height changes according to the FB. So you can see 10% for FB3, then 10% for FB1, 10% for FB2. It changes 8% too, but to 8% too, but mostly it all इसको हम edit कर सकते हैं. We can tweak this. So you know what, I'll copy this BB1 to BB2. अभी हम लोग background color नहीं डाल रहे हैं, so we'll leave that. So we'll go here, I'll paste it, and before I do anything else I'll also add the end curly bracket. So BB2 को भी हम कर देंगे FB foreground building 1. This is the first building. इसकी settings क्या है? So this is 10% and 60%. And let me copy this now and I'll paste it 6 times. So that's I've copied it, pasted it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I'll not paste it 6 times. I'll paste it 5 times because I've already written it first time. So now we go check for FB2. So इसको मैं करूँगा change FB2. FB2 में क्या है? So width will stay the same. The height will become 40%. Now for FB3, the width will stay 10% and the height will become 35%. So this will be FB3. इसको हम कर देंगे 35. Then 8% width and 45% height for FB4. We change FB4 8% width. Let's also copy this 45 and 10 and 33. So 8%, 45. This will be 10 and 33, and this will have the value FB5. अभी FB6 लिख देते हैं and we can just change the width and the height. So FB6 की वैल्यू क्या है? 9% and 36%. 36 and this will become 9%. And we can see these boxes have appeared on our left. We'll also give them a few more properties in the next part. Oh yeah, so that should be 38%, not 36%, my bad. So not 36, this will be 38%. And we have the green light, we're good to go. Now we are on step 32. Add the same display, align items and justify content properties and values to foreground buildings that you use on background buildings. So they are giving us the hint. They are copy करके paste कर दो. So again, this will use flexbox. So we'll also use the display property flexbox. Display property with the value flex to evenly space the buildings across the bottom of their container. So yeah, it says same display, so display flex. Okay, makes sense. So हम लोग वापस जाएंगे background buildings value पे, which is will not itself the value, it's a class. So background buildings में हमने width height use कर लिया. Now we'll copy the display, align items and justify content to space it evenly. So let's go back here. We can see here we were here. Now we'll not do anything to position and top. We'll paste the values here. So take that display, it is supposed to be a flex box. Yes, align items flex end. So we're going to add the same values, so it doesn't matter. Again, this will use flexbox to evenly space the building. So it's, yeah, you can read the justify content. It says space evenly, so it will be justified. Now we can open the preview in the new tab and we can see the outlines have appeared here. Great work. अभी ये सब बनेंगे foreground, so I will probably use Z index to place them below, or maybe not. I don't know what will happen. Let's see. But it says foreground, so it will be first, and the background will stay in the back. Makes sense. You should optimize your code. Move the position and top properties and values from foreground buildings to background buildings. Then select both background buildings and foregrounds there. Effectively applying those styles to both of those elements. You can use a comma to separate selectors like this. Yes, we have come across this before. We did come across this before. And क्या करना है? So हमें सारे change करेंगे. So move the position and top. तो वो तो नीचे होगा. From foreground to background settings. So सिर्फ position and top properties को हम लोग move करने वाले हैं. Then select both background and foreground buildings there. अच्छा, okay, yeah, I understand what we're supposed to do. So we go down here and we copy, we'll cut these values from here. So I'll press Command X. I can remove these and I'll scroll up again. Scroll key, using the scroll key, and we can see in the background buildings I'll add these values here. Right position, it also copied the indentation, of course, because I copied it. So we've set the position to absolute and top to 0. We can see now the position has changed of the foreground buildings. So हम लोग यहाँ पे अभी इसके बाद comma डालेंगे. So that's how we can use a list of selectors. So scroll down and I'll copy this class selectors value, class selectors name, and it is comma separated, so I'll put a space and comma space separated. So now we can see that the settings have been applied to this again. We have the green light, we are good to go. So what does this step say? Now that you did that, you can delete the old .foreground buildings declaration, all of its properties, since they aren't needed anymore. So if you think about it, yes. Why? Because you can see the width for foreground and the background buildings is the same. हमने उधर से copy किया था. हमने ये सब values भी वहाँ से copy की थी. So we don't really need these anymore. And you will also notice when I press backspace, nothing will happen to the preview tab. So let me press backspace. Now I've pressed backspace and we go to the new tab, the preview tab, and you can see there's no change. If I press Command Z, there's no change. So that means we can use these commas to apply the same settings. Makes sense. Okay, so Command Shift Z to redo. So we redid the undo function. That is very cool. Anyway, yeah, we have removed that declaration and we are good to go. So step 35. The skyline is coming together. Yes, yeah, we can see the buildings. We haven't added the moon yet. We'll probably add it in the next few steps. So skyline is coming together. Fill the background color property of the foreground buildings. Yes, use your building color 1 variable to fill. Okay, अच्छा तो उसमें भी सेम कलर्स ही डालने वाले हैं. Okay, no problem. So what does this say? So use your building color 1 variable to fill in FB3 and FB4. So variable color 1 is, where is it? So variable building color 1 is this. I will copy this entire line without the indentation because I have seen that वो copy करते फिर भी वो indentation आ जाता है, फिर it looks weird, so I don't need to copy the indentation. So इसमें क्या करना है? So FB3 and FB4 में हम वो colors background color values paste करेंगे. So इसमें डाल दिया. You can see, you cannot see. Why can you not see? तो हमें 1 लेना है, not 2. So background color for FB3 and FB4 variable background color 1. Yep, I can see the color here for FB3, and we'll also give it a value to the FB4 and we'll make it color 1. और इन दोनों को कलर्स हमने ऐड कर दिए. Now we go to we scroll up. What does this say? So building color 2 for FB5. We've already copied building color 2, so हम लोग FB5 पे हम लोग पेस्ट कर देंगे. What else? So building color 3 for FB2. So FB2 में color 3 and FB6 में 4. Okay, so अच्छा 3, 4, 2 and 6. So building color 2 for 5, 2 for 5 and 3, 4, 2 and 6. So we'll go to FB5, 2 for 5 and 3, 4, 2 and 6. So यहाँ पे 6 है, so this will make it 3. Then we go to the second foreground building and we make it 3, and we can see the changes here. Nice. Now we have building color 4 for FB1. So press enter, paste, and instead of color 2 we make it 1, and we can see the colors now. So we have these buildings with us. But guys, remember in the preview, in the first preview before the first step, we saw that all the buildings will be dark and will have a shade and a gradient. So for now this is only for us to understand what the buildings look like, what the color of the building is, what the shape of the building is, what the width and the height of the buildings is. Shape of yeah. Okay, what else are we to do? So let's see. Fill the background color property of the foreground buildings. Maybe I made a mistake. Let's check. So use your background color 1 variable to fill in FB3 and 4. So let's check. FB3 में हमने variable background color 1 डाला है, and 4 में भी building color 1 डाल दिया. Then we go to building so we'll apply building color 2 for FB5. So let me check FB5. इसमें हमने building color 2 use किया है. Then we used this building color 2 for FB2 and FB6. So FB2 building color 3 and FB6 also building color 3. What else does this say? And for FB1 we use building color 1. So why are we not doing it? We should give FB1 a background color using this. Oh yeah, instead of 1 it should be 4. I made a mistake. Yep, now it's clear. And then we can go to the next step. So step 36, we are back to the index.html file. Squeeze the buildings together again by adding 2 empty div elements. So you cannot see it now, but you can see this. So this is that empty div element, and we've given all the elements a border, that's why we can see it. But yeah, so the same way we're going to give it squeeze 2 empty div elements here. So what does this say? 2 empty div elements within both the top and bottom of the foreground elements कर देंगे, and one more between 2 and 3. So what I'll do is I'll copy this. We already did this in the for the previous building, the background building. So इसके अंदर हम लोग नेक्स्ट करेंगे 2 divs को, top में bottom में कर दिए हैं, and you can see these buildings are closer now, and you can see these small dots below the screen. They are barely visible, but they are visible. And between 2 and 3, so here, now I've already copied 2 div elements, so I'll have to delete one. Great. Has the spacing changed? Yes, the spacing has changed at all as well. They're spread evenly now. यहाँ पे एक dot यहाँ पे दिख रहा है, a minute dot, you cannot see it, but it is there. And then we can go to the next step. So what does this say? Move the position of .fb4 relative to where it is now by adding a position of relative and left of 10% to it. Okay. So instead of position absolute, we'll make it relative. So I'll write position relative semicolon. Oh, I have typo. So position relative. What changed? Let's see whether it changed something. Nope, it did not move. Maybe when we give it the value left of the property with the value 10%, property left with the value 10%, maybe it will move then. Yes, it did. It was here before, but now it's here. We can see it. Yep. Now it's here. So let's say 10% उसने move किया. Okay. So what does this do? Do the same for fb5, but use the right instead of left. So I will reuse these properties, and instead of left I will write right. We go to fb5, enter, and instead of left 10% I will write right 10%, and it moved from left to right. Great going. And we oh, you guys cannot see it, I'm sorry. So yeah, so I've copied and pasted the same values I wrote in fb4. So ये जो आपको दिख रही है ये values, you can see, sorry, position and left, I copied these values and I pasted them to fb5, and instead of left I wrote right. And then we can go to the next step, step 38. But don't be scared guys, we only have like I don't know, 80 more steps to go. Don't worry, we will get through this. Do not be scared at all. So what does this say? Your code is starting to get quite long. Yes, it is. So what will we do? So add a comment above the fb1 class that says foreground buildings. So to add a comment we use slash asterisk space asterisk slash. That's how we comment things. So add a comment above fb1, sorry, not here, sorry, command X. Okay, so well, let's read the complete step first and then we'll go. So your code is starting to get quite long. Add a comment above the .fb1, this is bb1, but okay, above the fb1 class that says foreground building. Hyphen fb stands for foreground building, for to help people understand your code. Above the bb1 class add another comment that says background buildings. bb stands for, if you don't remember, comments in css look like this, and they've also given us a small preview. Anyway, so then I can keep this here. So now I'll press I'll press the left mouse button before the letter B, and then I'll hold the shift button, and I'll press the left mouse button after the quote, and now I have selected this much text, and between these asterisks I will paste the values. It's a comment, you will not be able to see it anywhere. This is a comment for readers who are reading this HTML code and the CSS code. Now we will copy the foreground buildings text too, and we'll place it above fb1. So scroll down, bb3, bb4, and this is fb1. Let's press enter and put some even spacing, slash asterisk, again asterisk, and then slash, and in this slash we put the comment foreground buildings. fb stands for foreground building, and we have the green light. We are good to go. Now we are on the root variable. Create a new variable. Root is a selector. Now we are inside the root selector, and we're going to create a new variable called window color 1. windows बनाएंगे अभी, not the Windows 10, not the Microsoft Windows. We'll create a window, we'll create multiple windows. Okay, so window, building की window बना रहे. Anyway, so color 1 colon, and we'll give it the value of black. So for black, the hex code is hash 00000000000. Then of course it says give it the value of black, so we don't need to do any of that. We don't need to think about that. We can simply write black and it will appear. And I cannot see it anywhere because we have not applied this value anywhere yet, but we will apply this variable. So this will be a secondary color for the purple buildings. So these purple buildings, okay, these purple buildings, now we'll use this as a secondary. This is probably the fallback color maybe. So gradients in CSS are a way, yeah, we have come across the gradient function before. So just like the RGB function, it also accepts arguments. The first is color 1, color 2, and before color 1, color 2, we also put the gradient direction, but it looks like we're not going to mention the direction for this function. So what does this say? Gradients in CSS are a way to transition between colors across the distance of an element. They are applied to the background property, and the syntax looks like this. Yes, that is exactly what it looks like. I see. Okay, and what does this do? So in the example, color 1 is solid at the top, color 2 is solid at the bottom, and in between it transitions evenly from one to the text. That is what gradients do. And in BB1A, add the background property below background color property, set it as a gradient of type linear gradient. Okay, gradient type. So what does that mean? So when I say gradient type, set it as a gradient of type linear gradient. So यहाँ पे जो हमने लिखा है ना linear gradient, वो हम यूज़ करके यहाँ पे लिख देंगे. So जो भी gradient type की लिस्ट होती होगी, उसमें से जो भी gradient हम यूज़ करने वाले उसकी type यहाँ पे हम paste कर देंगे. We'll write that. We'll code that. Don't worry, guys. So this is where it is. In the example, yeah, we read already that. Set is a gradient of linear gradient that uses building color 1 as the first color and window color 1 as the second. Yep, that makes sense. So for BB1A, I will write BACK. I don't need to write that really. यहाँ से मैं सिर्फ background को copy कर रहा हूँ. I'll give it that's the background property. Now I will write linear. Linear gradient because एक line में जाएगा. फिर उसके अंदर semicolon तो end में डाल ही देते हैं so that we don't forget. Now in the linear gradient, we're not going to mention the degrees. If you remember, guys, हमने linear gradient with degrees use किया था हमारे markers वाले project में, but we're not going to use that here. We'll simply start with the color itself. So I'll write variable and open the brackets again, put double dashes, or I could just copy this, and instead of these double dashes I will paste this text. That is the first color. So with linear gradients or any gradients, the color is the color of the gradient is not visible unless and until we add at least two colors. So the same way अभी मैं variable second के लिए बनाऊंगा. So this will say window color 1 और ये color हम लोग यहाँ पे paste कर देंगे. So that is the second color. So now we have added the two colors for the linear gradient. Let's see whether we are missing some things. क्या बता रहा है? Gradients in CSS are away. They are applied to the background property and the syntax looks like this. Okay. In the examples, makes sense. Okay. So let's see. We have the green light. Let's look at the preview. We can see the gradient has been applied to this thing. Nice. I see. Could we make this a variable? That would be fun. That would be fun. अगर हम लोग एक और variable बनाते हैं which says linear gradient variable one, that then it would reuse these variable values to the next level. Okay, now you want to add the same gradient to the next two sections. Instead of doing that, create a new class selector called bb1 window and move the height and background properties and values from bb1a to the new class selector. So height लेंगे हम and background properties लेंगे. So we're going to move them, right? So यहाँ से हम लोग कट कर देते हैं. Excuse me. So क्या कर रहे हैं? So we'll create a new class selector. We're supposed to move these properties from bb1a to the new class selectors that is bb1 window. So command X. You can see that it has disappeared. You can only see the thing's border. And where should we put it? So bb1 windows. I think then I should put it here, because if you think about the order, then this is bb1, तो bb1 के बाद उसका window होना चाहिए और फिर उसके अंदर जो भी boxes है वो होने चाहिए. So I put another one of these, and then I will write dot bb1 hyphen window and put the curly brackets, and then I can paste the values. इससे कुछ change हुआ नहीं हुआ, क्या नहीं हुआ? Nothing happened yet, but we have the green light. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. So ये हमने किया. So we moved these properties from bb1a to bb1 window. Now we go to step 42. What does this say? Add the new bb1 window class to the bb1a, bb1b and bb1c elements. That is also very easy to do. So I'll copy this text from here till here. Why? Because of the hyphen. So when I press the left mouse button twice, it will only select the word window, not anything else, unfortunately, but no problem. So we have this, then we paste it again, and bb1c. So इन तीनों पे हमने gradient apply कर दिया है, and you can see that has been applied. And then we go to step 43. You don't need the height or background color properties in bb1a, bb1b or bb1c anymore. Yes, we do not. So yeah, एक एक करके इसमें से सब हटवा देंगे probably, but we'll have to keep the width. How will you change the width? Let's see. So इसमें से हम लोग background color हटा देंगे, bb1a में से हटा दिया, bb1b and c. So height भी हटा देंगे. To remove the entire line, if you're sure that you're going to remove the entire line, you can press command backspace. That also does the trick. And if we write function command backspace, it will remove the space. Oh, that did not work, sorry. And we have the green light, and you can see that nothing has changed so far. Now we go to gradients. Can use as many colors as you want, like this. हाँ, तो जितने कलर्स डालने हैं वो एक एक करके डालते जाओ और वो सब दिखने लगेंगे. So what does this do? So gradients can use as many colors as you want, like this. हाँ, तो हम लोग कोड में जहाँ पे भी लिखे, हाँ, तो जैसे यहाँ पे है, where did we use it? I have to scroll up. Yes, so this is where we used it. So ये जैसे है, यहाँ पे मैं 2-3 और कलर्स डाल दूँ. For example, what if I write green and blue, comma. अरे बाप रे, तो ख़त्म ही हो गया. Because there's a comma. So yeah, so we can add multiple colors till the end of time. So I can write white, and you'll also see the white color. Unfortunately, I've zoomed. This is the highest zoom. Oh, that looks much better. But now you can also see the gradient. So this is what they mean. हमें जितने colors डालने हम डाल सकते हैं. So what are you asking us to do for this gradient? So we're going to add another linear gradient to BB1D. This is BB1D. हाँ, थोड़ा scroll करके ऊपर कर लेता हूँ, आपको दिखेगा. With orange as the first color, then building color 1 as the second, window color 1 as the third. Remember to use the gradient on the background property. Why? Because linear gradient will create an image. So मैं क्या करूँगा, यहाँ से मैं ये values copy कर दूँगा and I'll press enter. And we have 3 colors. तो क्या क्या color, sorry 2 colors. हम लोग 3 colors use करने वाले हैं. So first will be orange, then comma space, then we have this. ये क्यों अलग line में? Oh yeah, I'll scroll up for you guys to see. Yes, now you can see it. So let me just quickly press command Z so you guys can see what I did. So ये BB1 window है. BB1 window में से मैंने ये background property copy की and then I went to BB1D and in the next line I pasted it. So अभी इनको क्या क्या चाहिए? So BB1D में first में orange रखना है. First color should be orange. So I'll simply write orange and that will be applied. अरे बाप रे क्या हो गया? We'll go through that. We'll go through that heart attack. Don't worry now. Okay. And what next? So building color 1 as second and building color window color as the third. Remember the use of gradient on the background property. Yes, we did. यहाँ पे comma नहीं होगा. ये curly bracket क्यों ऐसा कर रहा है? Interesting. Oh, we're also supposed to add another. Now it looks, it's back to normal. So it's, I did not copy the bracket, the closing bracket. That's why it looked weird. But because I noticed the red underline below the closing curly bracket, I was able to see that I made a mistake. So आपको ये अभी दिख रहा है, this is the building and this is the color of that building gradient. That is nice. Now we go to the next step. Command enter and step 45. It's a little hidden behind the foreground buildings. Yes. But you can see the 3 color gradient there. 3 color gradient there. Since you are using that now, remove the background color property from BB1D. Okay. Yes, it is a little hidden. Okay. 3 color gradient there. Since you're using that now. So what will happen then? Oh, sorry, not this. Some things. Are there any comments? Wait a second. Nope, nothing. Never mind. So yeah, we'll remove the background color property. What will that do? Nope, it did nothing because we've already given it the background linear gradient. Since you are using that now, remove the background color property from the BBD. Yep. And then we can go to the next step. I see. Now we can also give it the levels. We also came across these levels before in the Marcus project. You can specify where you want a gradient transition to complete by adding it to color to the color like this. So just a space and then we mention the percentage or probably the pixels. We can also mention the pixels. So here it will transform your color 1 to color 2 between 0 and 20%. Yeah, here मतलब ये example को समझा रहा है. So color 1 between 0 and 20% of the element and then transition to color 3 for the rest. Add 80% to the building color 1 color of the BB1D gradient so you can see it in action. सो यहाँ पे मैं लिखूँगा 80%, सॉरी नॉट 80%. So you can see that orange is taking up a major portion, और ये थोड़ा मतलब उसने कम ले लिया. So that's how that 80% thing works. If I remove it, then they're back to equal colors. You can see that क्योंकि हमने 3 कलर्स यूज़ किए तो वो ऐसा लगेगा. You can see, so orange to purple has no effect, but this window color is a little bit what word would I say, वो थोड़ा और बैठ गया है. Anyway, we are done with this and we can go to the next step. Now we are on step 47. Remember guys, this has 118 steps, so do not worry, it will be done. So what does this say? Now step 47, remove orange. Okay, orange हटा देंगे from the BB1D gradient and okay, change the 80% to 50%. हाँ तो 50% पे वो gradient shift होगा. This will make the building color solid for the top half and then transition to window color for the bottom half. So I pressed command backspace to remove the entire line. And now I change it to 50%, and you can see for the 50% of the box it stays the same color, and then it slowly transitions to this window color. If it were not the case, then you can see वो दोनों के बीच में वो equal है. So the concentration is the highest here and the concentration is the highest here, and in the middle it is a shade. But when we add 50%, command Z, you can see that इसका concentration 50% तक high है, like it's on the top highest है, और फिर इसके बाद इतने portion में इसका transition या फिर shade चल रहा है. Okay, now we will go to the next step. Step 48. Next, 2 div elements within BB2. Give them the classes of BB2A and BB2B in that order. So इनको ही मैं कॉपी कर देता हूँ और इनके अंदर ही मैं डाल दूँगा BB2A and BB2B. So BB2A, BB2 is of course background building 2, and this will be A. Great work. Now we'll probably target that class. Cube.bb2a with a height of 100% and make it fill the building container. Yes, you will add something on the top a little later. Hopefully this will be the pointy building. Let's find out. So what I can do is I can reuse these values. अभी हम लोग background color नहीं डाल रहे हैं unfortunately, but we can do that later. And do not forget to add the closing curly bracket. अभी 100% करने वाले, so I'll make this 100 and I'll put the 0. अरे बाप रे, oh ho. And look what that has done. So instead of BB2 it should be BB2A, तो वो सिर्फ BB2 कंटेनर के अंदर ही कंटेन रहे. Yes, you can see it now. And there's something wrong. BB2 अच्छा B पे करना है. Okay, BB2 B पे करना है, not BB2 A पे, sorry. And then we can see this has become a little bit darker. थोड़ा और मैं zoom करता हूँ. या so इसकी thickness बढ़ गई है. Left और right पे thickness पहले कम थी. That happened because of BB2. If I were to remove BB2, then you'd see 2 boxes. The thickness has increased. क्यों? क्योंकि ये दोनों वो divs हैं और वो दोनों divs की कोई width height कुछ values नहीं है. So they're just there. The moment I give BB2 some value, the thickness decreases. अरे बाप रे, वो semicolon भी डालना पड़ेगा. Sorry, वो curly bracket भी डालना पड़ेगा. Now it's back to normal. Anyway, you can see the thickness has decreased. अभी मैं वापस हटाना पड़ेगा. So, oh, nothing happened. What? Yeah, because it's BB2. Sorry, BB2B. It should be BB2B. So अभी देखिए. What is going on? Oh yeah, I copied the wrong thing. Sorry guys, just a second. So this is BB2B. just a second, I keep making blunders, so I'll keep this copied. So आपको यहाँ पे दिख रहा है इसकी thickness इतनी है. The moment I remove this, the thickness will increase, and from the sides the thickness will decrease. जैसे मैं यहाँ पे पेस्ट करूँगा, thickness will decrease. So yeah, so हमने एक container that is bb2 और the div, वो container को हमने height और width values दे दी है, height and width values दे दी है. And it also said हम लोग bb2a का use बाद में करेंगे, hopefully to make it a pointy building. Okay, now we're going to create a new variable inside the root selector. This is the highest selector. क्या बनाएंगे? So we'll make window color 2 with this value. So I'll copy the values. Window color 1 को 2 बना देते हैं, and what is the hash value? So we'll write 8cd9b3. Did something change? Oh, nothing will change because we haven't applied this variable yet. Nothing to worry about. We have the green light, and we can go to the next step. Now we have another thing. So what does this say? Gradient transitions often gradually change from one color to another. Okay, you can make the change a solid line like this. So 0, 40%, 40%, 80%. Okay. Add a linear gradient to .bb2b that uses building color 2 from a0 to 6%, window color 2 to and window color 2 from 6 to 9%. Okay. What? How will that work? Let's find out. I'll use this syntax to my benefit. I could also scroll up and find out where we use the linear gradient, and I can change the values. So I'll do exactly that. So let me scroll up. और कहाँ जाएंगे? So nope, I scrolled up a little too far. कहाँ पे है वो linear gradient? Linear gradient, it must be below this then. Foreground. Did I miss it somewhere? Just give me a second, guys. Nope. Yep, we have this, so I'll use this. It was right there in front of me. So I'll copy this. यहाँ पे जो space है यहाँ पे मैं paste कर देता हूँ. Now we'll change the values from here. इसको एक ही line बना देते हैं, so it looks easier to read and to understand. क्या बता रहे? So भाई linear gradient. Okay. So variable first color. What will be the first color? So for bb2 building color 2. So ये 1 का बन जाएगा 2. And you can see now it's green. Now then we go to, so what will the values be for this? So this will become 0%. इसको हम लोग copy कर देते हैं. So because we're going to use it the second time too. Comma space. Now variable building color 2. This will become 6%. So 0 to 6% for, in that period it will stay the same color. It will look more even. I think you guys can see it clearly now. Okay, let me read this. So you can make the change a solid line. So this is how it will look like a solid line. Okay, now we'll go to window color and we'll make it window color 2, and I'll press space and I'll press 6%. Now I'll copy this value और यहाँ पे मैं comma space दबाऊंगा, and instead of 6% now it will become 9%. So it is literally a line now. I see. So it's not a gradual transition, it's not a gradient, it is a line now. Okay. And we are done with this step. Now we are on step 52. You can see the hard color change. Yes, that is a hard color change. At the top of the section, change the gradient type from linear gradient to repeating linear gradient. Okay, देखते हैं उससे क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है. for this section, only this section. This will make the 4 colors of your gradient repeat until it gets to the bottom of the element, giving you some stripes and saving you from having to add a bunch of elements to create them. So I'll write repeating hyphen, and these stripes have been repeated, so now it has stripes. Stripes बहुत minutable आपको दिख रहे हैं. अगर मैं window color 1 कर दूँ तो शायद आपको clearly दिखेगा. Yep, that is a stripe. It looks like a border because my screen is already scaled, but it's not. You can see that. You can see the stripes in the building. Okay, then we can move to the next step. So it repeats the linear gradient. Okay, now what will we do? So step 53, in the next few steps you are going to use some tricks. Nice. So in the next few steps you are going to use some tricks with CSS borders and turn the .bb2a section into a triangle. Yes, at the top of the building. First remove the background color from bb2 since you don't need it anymore. Yes, we do not. And we'll make it a triangle. Triangle हम लोग I think left border right border के साथ खेल के बनाएंगे. Yeah, it says some tricks with the borders. Yes. So I'll write border hyphen left 0. Does that give me? Okay. So that's the border value. That is the thickness. That won't do it. So Trump sticks with the CSS border triangle. Yes, we did make a triangle before for a few Picasso paintings and that Rothko painting too. How will we do it? So border function से तो यही होता है. So border angles, border radius, maybe border radius. Let's try something. 10. What if I make it 100? 1000? No change. EX? Yep, there is a change, small change. 10,000. Yeah, that will look incredibly pale now. But this is not the right direction. You know what? Let me go to W3 schools. Let me Google what I can do to do some tricks with the borders. So what will we write? So nope, not this. Oh, in a new tab we will search how to make a triangle in CSS. The idea is a box with 0 width and height. Okay, actually there's an item. So we can also go to CSS tricks. We can go to the geeks for geeks, but we have been using W3 schools for a while now. So let's continue with W3 schools. So it says learn how to create different shapes with CSS. We have the square, we have the circle, we have the oval, trapezoid, rectangle, parallelogram, triangle up, triangle down, triangle left. So we are going to make something called a triangle up. Why? Because that's what we have been learning so far in freeCodeCamp. They haven't mentioned triangle down or left yet so far. So it's safe to assume that they want us to learn the triangle up. So what I'll do is I'll click on try it yourself. I can see here this is how they've built the triangle up. So let's see. So they are using border left, border right, bottom, and they're playing with the thickness, solid, transparent. Okay, but the width and the height will stay this will be 0, but here it's 10% and 50%. Interesting. Let's see. So instead of border radius I will write left. I'll make it 0. solid and transparent. Does that do anything? Nope. Then we go to the next step. Nope, no next step yet. According to this, left, right and bottom will be applied a color. So left, right and bottom. I do not see anything yet. This is what happens when you don't read, guys. You're not supposed to build a triangle yet. In the next few steps you are going to abhi nahi karne wale. I'm so I should have read that. We were as the first part of this first remove chord, but I will copy this and we will play with this in the next few steps. Not copy, I'll cut this. बस इतना ही करना था इस स्टेप के लिए. Okay. Okay, yeah, overthinking. But this will come handy even in the future, so I'll also link this in the description for you guys. So what I'll do is मैं यहाँ पे जाऊँगा edit में, description में, because we are supposed to also add a triangle for BB2A anyway. So I've pasted that in the link and I'll also paste it in the comments. ये क्या हुआ? अरे बाप रे. So ये भी मैं डाल देता हूँ. I'll paste it to the Facebook comments too. Facebook comments में यहाँ पे मैं डाल देता हूँ. Great. Okay. I will keep this tab open when I actually have to create a triangle. Now what does this say? Add these properties to .bb2a. अरे बाप रे. So I've already copied those values, but it seems it will give us some idea, some help in the future, so I'll leave that for now. Now what does this say? So add these properties to .bb2a. Are we inside bb2a? Nope, we haven't even started editing the bb2a. Okay, so I'll write .bb2a because it's a class selector. That's why you can see the dot. We use the dot for class selectors. ये क्या values है? So margin auto. अच्छा, तो हर एक साइड से वो सेंटर में रहेगा using auto. With 5 viewport width and height viewport width. Okay, so relative to the viewport. Then border top, border bottom, border left and border right. ये क्या बात है? I think using these values it will become a triangle. So yeah, border top, bottom left, bottom right. You can see the values 00999. Let's see what happens. So I'll paste this. Sorry, हाँ नहीं उसने indentation नहीं लिया. ठीक है, I'll add the indentation manually. No problem. And it doesn't matter if you don't add the indentation, but I think it's good practice. Of course, we just copied and pasted it. What does this say? So after you add these, you can see how a thicker border on an element gives you some angles where two sides meet. Whoa, okay, so that just happened. Let me manipulate the settings a little bit to see what else I can do with this. So that is one viewport size. It almost looks like a room. That is very nice. Very cool indeed. That is very cool. Yep. Okay. You know what? Yeah, leave that, never mind. Okay, so after you add these, you can see how thick a border on an element gives you some angles where two sides meet. Yeah, okay. You are going to use that bottom border as the top of the building. So this bottom border will use as the top of the building. Okay, we will go to the next step. Now next remove the width and the height from BB2A and change the border left and this to okay. अच्छा हम लोग क्या करने वाले हैं 5 VW, so then we can reuse this property. So I'll copy this first before deleting. The element will now have 0 size and the borders will come together in the middle. What if when we do this it has closed down because it does not have any width or height. It only has a border thickness. Because of that thickness, this is what it looks like. Now क्या करेंगे हम लोग? So left and right को हम change करेंगे. And now we can see a whatever that image is appearing, becoming clear. The element now will now have 0 size and the borders will come together in the middle. They did. And we can go to the next step. How many views do we have? How is the Bihar viewer, Bihar Panther? How are you, Bihar Panther? Maza aa raha hai? So next, change the 2999 of BB2A to transparent. We saw that transparent a few times, a few steps ago in that W3 schools thing. Transparent, copy and paste. I'll remove the hash too, and you can see that color has disappeared from the left and the right. This will make the left and right borders invisible. It did. Oh, okay. Now I think it will ask us to change the border top values to 0V. I have a comment I can see. Nope, there are no comments yet. Okay. तो क्या दिखा रहा है? अब ये बन गया है. We'll probably change the border top value to 0 and that will make it look like a triangle. So remove the margin, okay, and border top properties from the values BB2A to turn it into a triangle. अगर मैं margin हटा देता हूँ क्या होता है? Margin हटाने से कुछ नहीं हुआ. But what if I only removed border top? Okay. And now if I remove the margin, nope, no change yet. To turn it into a triangle on top of the building. We have the green light, but we can still see some borders. Something. And we can, yeah, I've already linked this in the description for you guys to see, so you can check this out. Triangle up, triangle right. You can also check these shapes. Rectangle, of course, you change the width and the height and it works. Trapezoid, that is something to see. Probably top की border values change होती होंगी. Something, it has something to do with this. We will learn. Anyway, so these are the different shapes. We use border radius for this, of course. This is border radius at 100%. This is border radius at, I see. So square का अगर border radius 100% करते हैं तो फिर this becomes circle. अगर rectangle का border radius अगर हम 100% करते हैं then it becomes oval. And you can play with these by yourselves and learn it. So this is the building now. We have so many more steps to go. Do not worry guys, I'll be with you every step of the way. So what does this do? Remove the margin and border top properties and values from BB2A to turn it into a triangle for the top of the building. Okay. So ये तो step कर दिया, submit, remove कर दिया. Now we go to step 58. Finally, on the border bottom property of the BB2A, change the 1V to 5VH. So viewport width की जगह हम लोग अभी viewport height करेंगे. So 5 times relative to the viewport width. VH. Not border, right? Which one are we supposed to change? Border bottom. So border bottom 1 की जगह 5 and VW की जगह VH. And it looks a little bit better. and change the 000 color of your building color to your building color to variable. So for that I'll copy that building color to variable. So variable कहाँ पे होगा, variable building color 2 should be in foreground buildings, building color 3 4 and this is where we have it. Okay, यही उठा लेते हैं ना. Nope, we are only supposed to change the color, set the color value. Instead of this we'll paste this variable building color, and now we can see it has a green top. You can still see the borders because हमने asterisk selector पे हर एक पे हमने वो border लगाई है. So for every element has an extra border, but we'll remove that after we are done with this project, so do not worry. So we are done with this step. Then we go to the next step. Now we are back to the root selector. What does this say? So on to the next building. Now we will play with the next building. What does this do? So create a new variable called window color 3. Okay, and in root and give it the value of D98CB3. So D98CB3. हाँ, क्योंकि अभी तक इसमें नहीं आएगा कलर, क्योंकि अभी तक हमने विंडो कलर 3 ही यूज़ किया है. अभी तो सिर्फ हमने वो वेरिएबल को डिक्लेयर किया है. कैन यू गाइस सी इट? ओके, नाउ वी गो टू स्टेप 60. डोंट वरी गाइस, वी स्टिल हैव 52 more steps to go. Nothing to worry about. We will finish this. Not 52, maybe less. I think how many? So 58 more steps to go, I think. Maybe, yeah, because it has 118 steps. So far all the gradients you created have gone from top to bottom. Yes, that's the default direction. You can specify another direction by adding it before your colors like this. See, that's what I was talking about. हमने जब markers बनाए थे तब हम 90 degrees grid direction use करते थे, 90 DEG, and you can see 90 DEG here too. Nice. Okay, so this is the syntax. It will ask us to use 90 degrees. Okay, so fill in .bb3. .bb3 is the bb3 class with a repeating linear gradient. Okay, repeating linear gradient हमने कहीं और भी use किया है. We can also use that. So we'll use 90 degrees. तो हम लोग उसके अंदर 90 degrees use करेंगे with your building color. Your building color 3 for the first 2 colors and window color 3 at 15% for the third. We don't specify distance for a color. It will use the values that makes sense. Values that makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. In this case, the first 2 colors will default to 0% and 7.5% because it starts at 0% and 7.5% is half of 50%. Makes sense? Let's find out where that is. ये इधर ही है. Great. So we'll copy these values. Oh, not cut. We'll copy these values and we'll paste them here. And I think we should also remove building background color. रखते हैं, इसमें mention नहीं किया है remove background color, so let's not. I'll paste this. So repeating linear gradient bb3. Now after this I'll write 90 DEG, so 90 degree comma space. I don't need to mention the space because it's in the next line anyway. Now you can see that it's horizontally, yeah, it looks horizontal now instead of vertical. Now we'll change from building color 2 to building color 3 for the first 2 colors and window color 3. Command Z. Okay. Building color 3 for the next 2 and 15% for the third. So this will become 15%. That looks nice. ये हम 9% हटा देंगे. when you don't specify distance for a color, it will use the values that make sense. ये 6% भी हटाना पड़ेगा. So yeah, that's what it looks like. That does look weird. तो repeating linear gradient लगा है, फिर भी ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? Okay, for the first color, then we color 3 and 15% for the third. अच्छा, सिर्फ 3 ही लगाने वाले हैं. Okay. Specify a distance for a color. Let's see. Yeah, that looks nice. And we can go to the next step. अरे बाप रे, आपको दिखा नहीं. So this is what I did. Now you guys can see much better. So this is the linear gradient, repeating linear gradient. You can see यहाँ पे, and I've mentioned the 90 degrees. After that we have the variable building color 3, then the second variable building color 3, and window color. So these two colors will stay solid till 15%, and then this window color will take over. Okay, अभी क्या है? Remove the background color because we don't need it, since we are using the background linear gradient. And then we know the next step, the next building. Nice. So now we're going to work on the next building. We'll have 3 sections. Okay, BB4A, B and C. इसको ही कॉपी कर देते हैं और इसको क्लासेस देंगे BB4A, B and C. Okay. (4A), (4B) and (4C). Nice. We have 2 concurrent viewers. Nice work, guys. Thank you so much for watching. और क्या बोल रहा है? Give the new div elements these width and height values 3. Oh, हाँ, तो ये तो हमने यूज़ किया ही है पहले. अरे बाप रे. हाँ, sorry, I tangled my earphones again. So what does this do? Okay, so we're supposed to give these elements these values, height and width. Excuse me. So what I'll do is I'll copy these. Nope, sorry. The live is still on. Okay, BB4 copy. यहाँ पे paste. Add the curly bracket and change BB4 to BB. Okay, so we'll change it to BB. Oh, it should be BB4, but we should also add BB4A. And we'll also copy and paste these values for BB4B and BB4C. So ABC. A ka C. A ka. Oh. This should be C and this should be B if you're following an order. So B, A, B, C. You can see that for yourself. So for yourselves, guys. So अभी क्या है? First की width हम लोग रखेंगे 3%. Oh, sorry. First की हम रखेंगे value 3%, and the height will be 10%. We'll see what it looks like here. Yep, that's the 10%. It's barely visible. इसकी अगर मैं thickness बढ़ा सकता हूँ तो yes, you can see that little thing is that BB4A. Now we go to BB4B. It will become 10%, and sorry, no, this will become 80%, and this will cover 4%. Okay, height will be 5%. Yep, that's the shape. We can see that shape. Then we go to BB4C. इसमें with 100%. And height 85%. You can see that. In 5 and 85, you can see that these are relative. 1, 2 and 3. इन तीनों को मिला के बनते हैं 100%. But in the case of width, it doesn't matter. और क्या है? BB4. Oh yeah, we have to make this BB4C, not BBC. Okay. Now remove the background color property value from BB4. We probably use a linear gradient for the new ones, and add it. Remove and add it to the 3. Okay. I could have copied it. Command X and add it to the 3 new sections. So now only the sections are filled. Yep, makes sense. Indentation भी copy कर दिया उसने. Sorry. Yep, and that works. You can see background color 4 for these, and you can go to the step 65. You want .bb4 bb4 to share the properties of bb1 that center the sections. So instead of duplicating that code, create a new class above the background building comment. This is the background building comment. You can see that. So above the background building comment called building wrap. Okay. Create a new class. So we'll use a class selector. So build building -wrap. Leave it empty for now. This class will be used in a few places to save you some coding. Move the display flex direction align items properties and values from bb1 to the new building wrap class. So display flex direction and align items from here till here. Cut, backspace, tab, paste. So भी कुछ करेंगे apply and the new building wrap class to the bb1. अच्छा, and bb4 elements. Yep, I get it. So before I do this, by the way, this is what it looks like now. You can see ये सब जो align, justify content वो सब change हो गया है. This is not in the center. ये भी नहीं है. So when we give this the building wrap class, it will align itself. So I'll write. You know what? I can copy that from building wrap from B to D. Building wrap. So bb1 में डाल दिया. So now you can see this is aligned. Now we go to bb4. This is bb4. I will paste it again, and now this is aligned. We can go to the next step. Create a new variable called window color 4. अभी हम लोग चौथी बिल्डिंग पे जाएंगे. Oh sorry, चौथी बिल्डिंग में पहले चौथी बिल्डिंग के विंडो के कलर्स देंगे अभी. I can't believe these are window colors. But yeah, fancy building. What can you say? Okay, so 8C. We already have 8C. Then we have B3. And then we have D9. So अभी मैं D9 को मैं कट करके यहाँ पे पेस्ट कर दूँगा. Nice. And instead of 3, I'll make it 4. We haven't applied this anywhere yet. So ये हमने कलर डाल दिया है, but there's nothing yet. We'll use a linear gradient probably. But उससे पहले हम अभी BB4C के अंदर 4 और एलिमेंट्स ऐड करेंगे. What is BB4C? This is BB4C. So I'll copy this and give them all the class of BB4 window. अच्छा, तो उसके अंदर 4 विंडोज बनाएंगे. Yes, I think I saw that in the preview too. No need to copy that. Instead of BB4C, we will make it BB4 hyphen window. And I can copy this and I can paste it 3 more times. You can see the borders have appeared, objects with borders. And then we can go to step 17 now. Okay, give the bb4 window class. So we are back to styles.css. Give the .bb4 window class a width of 18%, height of, and window color वेरिएबल टू बैकग्राउंड कलर, ये कहीं से उठा सकते तो उठा लेते हैं, येस वी विल। सो BB4 से ऊपर से उठा लेते हैं ना। सो कॉपी दिस, paste it here. Instead of BBC we will make it BB4C, we'll make it BB4 window. Width will be 18%, so and the height will be 90%, so 90. Add your window color 4, वो तो अच्छा बिल्डिंग कलर की जगह भी हम लोग विंडो कलर यूज़ करेंगे। सो yep, I can see the color has changed here. Okay, next how about this? Can you guys see that? ये आपको दिखता है कि नहीं? Yes, I think you can. Okay, and we have 4 likes. Thank you so much for your support, guys. The windows are stacked on top of each other. Okay, on top of each other at the left of the section. Yes they are. Behind the purple building. Yes they are. Stacked on top house. So यहाँ पे ये मुझे एक छोटा गैप दिख रहा है. That means it is stacked on top. This is stacked on top of this. Add a new class below building wrap called window wrap, so that it wraps. Yeah, I understand. So window hyphen wrap. अभी तक हमने ये क्लास वहाँ पे index.html में मेंशन नहीं किया है, so we won't see the effects. Now we'll make it a flexbox container. So display flex, use the align items and justify context. See, अभी मैं copy paste कर सकता था. I should have done that. So what I'll do is I'll copy the values from here. Thank you so much. And I'll paste them and I'll edit them accordingly. So क्या बोल रहे हैं? User align just center its child elements. Column की जगह row. Nope, no change. Evenly space them. So instead of flex direction row, it will now be space hyphen evenly. But there's no change because the align items is still there. So align they should be correct. What are we doing wrong? So let's read the steps again. The windows are stacked on top of each other at the left of the section behind the purple building. Add a new class below. I just said that myself. We won't be able to see any change yet. Okay, but still we are wrong somewhere. So where are we wrong? So we made a window wrap a flexbox container using the display property, and then we used align items. So we align them to the center and justify content to center its child elements vertically and evenly space them. This हो जाना चाहिए. What am I? So I give it the value space evenly. I did. Instead of flex directions, it should be justify content. I'm so sorry. Yep. So justify hyphen content, and that is correct now. But we still can't see any changes because we haven't added window wrap. So I think that will be the next step. तो इसको मैं copy करके रखता हूँ. तो क्लास वैल्यू देनी होगी तो हम उसको दे देंगे. Yep. We can see these windows. These are very long windows. That is the first time I've seen a window this long. Okay, no problem. Or this tall, I would say. Looks good. On to the foreground buildings. Turn the FB1 building into 3 sections by nesting 3 new div elements within it. Of course, give them the classes FB1A, FB1B, and FB1C. So now we are changing. Now we are going through the FB foreground buildings. ये मैंने copy कर दिया है div. Inside will nest 3 of them. So 1, 2, and 3. Now I'll change the values from FB1A to C and B and A, and then we can go to the next step. Now we are in foreground buildings. FB1B, a width of 60, C. Acha, B and C. We're only going to change B and C, nothing else yet. Which building is this? So this is the building we're going to edit now. So let me copy these values. Well, these properties, curly bracket add कर देते हैं, and instead of FB1 it will become FB1B. I'll copy this, I'll paste this. Now instead of FB1B it will become FB1C. You can see that, can't you? Now width will become 60 and height 10%. What if you could flip this? Unfortunately, no way, but no problem. And width of 60, height of 10%, FB1C, width of 100% and height of 80%. We can see that now. Let's go to the next step. Add a building wrap class to the FB1 element to send to the sections. I will just copy this. I'll paste this value. Now move the background color property and value. Acha. So color property and value from FB1 to F1B1. What? Did we give it transparent values? What? That is funny. Okay, maybe the color is close to white and that's why. Did I make a mistake? Nope, nothing's wrong. The building just looks that way, so why not? So what I think will happen is, now that we have these variables, we're using these variables, the moment we change the color of the variables, the entire building would look different. Do you believe me? Do you not believe me? I'll show you. So let's change the building color 1 to black, not black, and they're all black. Well, not all, the 3 of them are black. I'll just quickly undo this. Okay, let's go back to the steps. अगर preview यहाँ करे तो कैसा दिखता है? That's not too bad. Okay, so we can keep the preview here too. Don't worry about the space at the bottom. Yep, there is a space at the bottom, and I don't know what you're gonna do with this transparent color. We'll get there. Maybe there's a glitch. Don't worry about the space at the bottom. Everything will get moved down later when you add some height to the element and the top of the building. Okay, add a repeating linear gradient to FB1C with a 90-degree angle. We're building color 4 from 0 to 10% and transparent from, what do I write? A transparent and transparent. Okay, so let me look for repeating linear gradient first. Found it. कोई एक भी था ना जिसमें हमने बहुत सारी वैल्यूज इसमें डाली थी. So I'll copy this. We'll scroll down here and paste the values. Can you guys see it? Nope, you cannot. Okay, थोड़ा और scroll करना पड़ेगा. Now we'll change. So for the first 2 colors, this will be the variable value. Instead of 2, I'll make it 4. You can see that happening. अभी क्या है? 0 तो हाँ, तो यहाँ पे 0% लिख देंगे. Then 10%. What? Okay, and this will be transparent. How do we put a transparent color? Do I just write transparent? This will become what? 10 to 15%. So 10. This will become 15%. Okay, it is coming together slowly. We'll paste it to transparent. So that's what the building looks like now. और क्या है? Add a repeating linear gradient to FB1C with a 90-degree angle. We're also supposed to mention the 90-degree angle. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. So, okay, that's what the building looks like now. Now we have another argument. You can add multiple gradients to an element by separating them with a comma like this. अच्छा तो 2 repeating gradients डालेंगे. Add a repeating linear gradient probably after the semicolon disappeared. Okay. Magic, the semicolon just disappeared. So add a repeating linear gradient to FB1C below the one that's there. Use your building color 4 from 0 to 10%. अच्छा तो 0 लिखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Okay, 0 to 10% and window color from 10% to 90. Instead of transparent, it will become 90%. Okay. Comma, enter, paste. Oh, unfortunately we cannot. So यहाँ से लेके Yep. Copy this, paste it. Repeating linear gradient. This will also be. इसमें degrees mention नहीं किया है. Okay, let's see. And repeating linear gradient to the okay. Below the one that's there, building color from 0 to 10%. Building color 4 from 0 to 10%. And instead of transparent, it will become window color 4, 10 to 90%. So इसको click पे 90 कर देते हैं. No change so far because it's all transparent. Instead of building, I will now write window. I see it coming a little bit. Okay. इसको भी copy कर देते हैं. And instead of transparent, we make it this. Yes, it has some. Is that it did do something? Is that what you wanted to do? Yep, it did not mention the degrees, so I removed the degrees and then I ran it. We're going to use some border tricks for the top section. Add a border bottom with a value. So we're going to create another class called border. Let's think. Okay. Top section. अच्छा top section बोला है ना उन्होंने. So this is probably for FB1A. Yeah, border bottom is a property. That's why I was confused at first. So now what are we going to do? We're going to give it a border bottom property with a value of this 7 viewport height. Okay. Then solid and the color is variable building color 4, which is this blue shade of blue. Okay. So I'll copy this. Write border hyphen bottom. And I'll paste this and semicolon to close the okay. What happened to you? I think that looks like a whatever it is, we did it. Now this will put a 7 viewport height border on the bottom. Okay. But since the element has 0 size, it only shows up as a 2 pixel wide line from the 1 pixel border that is on all elements. Yes. Yeah. Now on to step 80. Guys, buckle up, don't worry, nothing will happen, we are almost there. So ये क्या बता रहा है? When you increase the size of the left and Just a second. I was stretching my back. Okay. When you increase the size of the left and the right borders, the border on the bottom will expand to be the width of the combined left and right border widths. Okay. So अभी border bottom की जैसे हम लोग border अच्छा हाँ ठीक है I'll type this border left and colon will give it the value to viewport width and it has become even more pin जितना बन गया है. Then solid transparent semicolon. Now it looks like a triangle, 90-degree triangle. Then border right, so it's going to become a triangle I assume. So border hyphen right, अच्छा दोनों में सेम ही रखनी है. An equilateral triangle. Do not worry about this shape guys, तो आपको तो दिख ही नहीं रहा, but let me open it in the tab. If you notice this shape, that shape will disappear after we change the preview. Well, we change this value. If you remove this value, all of it will disappear and it looks much more realistic. But yeah, to make it this way हम लोग बाद में करेंगे add. For now we'll keep the asterisk selector which selects all the elements so that we can see what we are doing. Okay, going back, scroll. Yep, now we were on step 80. When you increase the size of the left and right borders, I'll keep the preview here for me. When you increase the size of the left and right borders, okay, the border on the bottom will expand to be the width of the combined left and right border widths. So add this. हाँ ये तो I think हमने कर दिया. They will be invisible, but it will make the border of the bottom 4 viewport width wide. 4 times of the viewport width wide. The extra column. Semicolon again. We can also play with this to understand more. You can see that. If I make this 1 and 1, and you can also see that इसकी width छोटी है. If we make the width, let's say, thickness 10, and you can see that is what it looks like. Anyway, चलो जाते हैं next. On to the next building. Next 2 div elements within the FB2 and give them FB2A and FB2B. Simple, we have been doing this for a while. We'll probably do it for these buildings too. FB, the 3rd building, the 4th building, the 5th building and the 6th building. So don't worry. हो जाएगा. चलो अभी इसके अंदर हम लोग FBA and FBB डाल दिए हैं. We can go to the next step. I think we only have like 48 more steps, maybe 40 more steps. I don't know, 30, 38 more steps. Anyway, maybe 30 more, I don't know. Okay, so क्या बोल रहा है ये? Give the FB2A width and FB2B a width and height. Let me copy these. So copy, paste again. You don't need the background color for now. Probably linear gradient ऐसा कुछ करके डालेंगे, but nothing for now. FB2A को हम देंगे with 100% width. अच्छा. And FB2B a width of also 100% and the height of 75%. इसमें उसमें height हमने mention नहीं की थी, so will it take the height accordingly? I don't know, but yeah, that's what we are going to do. That is good music. Chalo, next. Maybe my internet's off. I have to wait for a few seconds, maybe. Chalo, submit and go to the next challenge. Nothing's happening. Is my internet working? Yep, my internet is working. Let me refresh the page. Maybe it got stuck. If I'm going to refresh the page, let me copy this. तो अगर ये फिर से स्टेप करने का है तो कुछ गलती ना हो. It's loading. Looks like it's taking longer than usual. Please try refreshing the page. तो मैं क्या करूँगा, मैं जाऊँगा वापस freeCodeCamp.org पे. Their home page will be available. Their home page is also not available. Interesting. I will try refreshing the page. And they're still loading. Okay, this is the first time this has happened. Maybe these guys are really weirded out by the amount of time I have been spending, or it could be something else. Looks like it's taking longer than usual. Please try refreshing the page again. क्या करेंगे? I'll close this. I'll Google freeCodeCamp. Let's go to responsive web design from here. And there's something happening to the freeCodeCamp website, and we're on. Okay, yeah, okay. So what I can do is I'll press the yes. So I pressed Command Shift T to open the previously closed tab. Now I'll just go to the step 22, step 82. Maybe some error, maybe something happened, I don't know, but we're back on. And this is where we were. FB2A, a width of 100%, FB2B, a width of 100% and height of 75%. And we have the green light, and we can go to the next step. 83 step. Now we will nest 3 div elements within FB2B. Sorry about that. And FB2 window. So now we're going to make a 3 div elements देने ना. हाँ तो चलिए इसको बना देंगे FB2 hyphen window. This will be a window 3 only. You can see the thickness change. Now we go to add your window wrap class to FB2B. क्योंकि हमने विंडो रैप को डिफाइन किया था. So let's see what happens. अच्छा, तो अगर 3 होंगे, 3 को 3 ये ऐसा दिखाएगा, 4 होंगे तो इक्वली 4 को रख देगा. Make sense. We can go to the next step now. Yes, thank you. Ask me later. Give the ये नहीं है. हाँ ठीक है, तो इसको बनाना पड़ेगा. Give the FB2 window elements a width of height and background color of your window 3 variable. ये कहाँ से उठाएंगे? हाँ चलिए ये उठा लेते हैं. I can copy these values and I will adjust them accordingly. So paste. What is the width? Width is 22%. Height is 100% and background color of your window color 3. So instead of building, we will make it window. And you can see this effect coming to life, just like this. Nice. And we have the green light. We are good to go. So move the background color property and value from .fb2 to fb2b. So we'll copy this, cut this line without the line break, and then we move it to fb2b. Can you guys see that? fb2b? Yep. So that's where I'm going to paste it. Move the background color property and value from fb2 to fb2b and just and just color the section and not the container. Yep, not the container. So this is a section and ये पूरा container है. Yep, I understand. Step 87 for FB2A, add a border bottom of this and border left, border right. Okay, ये हमने कैसे लिया था, तो उसको ढूंढते हैं. Command F will come to the rescue. So hyphen bottom कहीं पे है. I keep pressing enter but I can't find it. No problem, I will copy this from here to here and we can change it to our preferences. So border bottom will become 10 VH, you can see that. Then solid variable building color 2 so 3 instead of 2, so that it follows that pink. Then border left and border right to 1 viewport width, border left and right to 1 viewport width, and they will both be solid transparent. This time the border trick will create a trapezoid shape. It did. We can see that. Great work. So now we've also learned how to create a trapezoid. You can screenshot these settings and check for yourselves. You can practice this by yourselves with your own CSS files, with your own HTML files. It is very easy to use and that's how we do it. Wow. Okay, so for the next building, next 4 div elements within .fb3. This is .fb3, so when it says dot, it means a class with the value fb3 with classes of fb3a, b and fb3a. Okay? अच्छा 2 बार. Okay. So this will be b and this will be a. We will copy this and they want it to be there twice. This building will have 4 sections and the top 2 will be almost the same as the bottom 2. You can see ये यहाँ पे borders आ गई हैं the moment we added this 4 divs. And let's go to the next step. Boy, okay. So give the .fb3a element with a width of 80% and a height of 15%. Okay, with height 15%, with height 15%. ये कहीं पे तो होगा, हाँ उसके ऊपर ही है. So I'll copy this, paste it, and I will not forget to put the curly bracket. We'll give अच्छा ये भी copy करके देते हैं. FB3A and FB3B. This will become F3B. You can see that coming together. So FB3B. अभी क्या करना है? Width will become 80%. Height will become 15%. Good stuff. Then give F3B. Okay, FB3B element. FB3B. Width of 100%. And a height of 35%, so we leave the height as it is. Good stuff. Thank you for watching the current viewers. I noticed that you have been here for some time now. I appreciate your support. So what does this say? Remove the background color property and value from .fb3 and add them to fb3a and fb3b. ये हम लोग when they ask us to remove, we're supposed to move it. So cut and we move it. अच्छा, we paste it to both FB3A and FB3B. ये डाल दिया. You can see that we've added that. Good stuff. That is a weird looking building, but who are we to judge? add your building wrap class to the FB3 element. Now it's wrapped. Next 3 div elements इसके अंदर. So now I think we're going to make windows. Each a class of FB3 hyphen window. Sorry. Yes. 3 new developments. They are actually service. Give them each a class of FB3 window. This will do the windows for this section. Yes. Give the FB3 window elements a width of 25% height and use the window color variable as a background color. ये उठाते हैं and we will change F3B. Wait a second, window color नहीं है. Do we have a window color? Nope, unfortunately not, but nothing to worry about. So FB3B की जगह अब ये बन जाएगा FB3 window. The width will be 25% and height of 80%. And instead of building color 1, it will become window color 1. Okay, that's the background color value. Great stuff. Add your window wrap class to the FB3 element. Now that this has borders, तो वो दिख नहीं रहा है, but it will be there. Don't worry. If you are worried, then what I can do is I can simply remove this, and you'll see what it looks like. Anyway, good music. Okay. Add your window. We are on step 94. Add your window wrap class to the .fb3a element. So now they are evenly spread using justify content, and they are in the center. So that is a window. Now we are on step 95. With CSS variables, you can change values without searching everywhere in the style sheet. Yes, yeah, we have been using CSS variables for quite some time now, and you can change values without searching everywhere in the style sheet. Change the window color value to now I think it's the time to make all of it black. अभी ये 2 buildings बाकी है, शायद बाद में करेंगे. Let's see. So we'll change the window color 1 from black to BB99FF. So BB99FF. वो ट्रांसपेरेंट बन गया क्योंकि हमने हेक्स कोड नहीं डाला. Yep. Okay, makes sense. That is much lighter. That is a nice shade. Okay, now only 3 more buildings to go. Yes. चलो उसको करते हैं. Only 3 more buildings to go. Next 2 div elements. अच्छा next करना है. So next 2 div elements within the FB4 element and give them the classes of FB4A and FB4B. In that order. Remember that you sort of flip the location of FB4 and FB5, so it's the rightmost purple building, this one, because the original position was here and then we moved it negative 15% left, I think. Yes, and we moved this positive left this much. Weird. Anyway, और क्या बता रहे. So in that order, remember, yep, we did sort of flip the location, so it's the rightmost purple building that you are working on now. If we still don't understand, then we can look at this highlight, this thick border. That's what we are working on. अच्छा, तो इसने give the FB4B a width of 100% and a height of 89%. मैं यहाँ से ही copy करूँगा and we'll give it this. Now step 98, add your building color variable as building color 1 variable as the value of background color 1 property of FB4B. ये उठाते हैं. Then remove the background color from FB4. So what I can do is I'll press command X to cut it from FB4 and I will give it that color to FB4B. Yep, that's what we were going to do. अच्छा, आपको दिख नहीं रहा था. Yes, so यहाँ से मैंने background color remove किया and I pasted it here. That's it. Now next 6 div elements within the FB4B and give them all a class of FB4 window. 6 elements, so we're going to make 6 windows. FB4 hyphen window. I'll copy this. I'll paste that. एक और करो, paste copy करूँगा. We want 6, right? So copy all 3 and I'll paste them. Now we have 6 div elements with FB4 window class. Give the FB4 window elements a width. Okay, with height. Okay, no problem. Don't worry. So we're going to create a new element. New selector. So I will reuse the values from the previous selector. So FB4 window with a width of 30%, height of 10%, छोटे एकदम, and these will make some circulars. Windows. Okay, and we're not supposed to. अच्छा, so instead of background color, we'll make it border radius. So 50%. उसकी radius 50%. Background color की जगह मुझे लेना पड़ेगा radius. There is no such thing as background radius. There is only border radius. And now they're square. Now they are circular. Now on to step 101. Guys, save 18 steps baki, do not worry. We will be finished soon. Maybe 10-15 minutes more. That's it. क्या बोल रहा है ये? So fill in the windows with your secondary color for this building. कैसे डालेंगे? So also add a margin, a secondary color for this building. हाँ, the secondary color मतलब with a secondary color for this building. That I don't understand the first sentence, but I do understand the second one. Let me finish that. 10% margin to add कर दी हर side से to give the windows some space. What does this mean? Secondary color. What will we use? Window color 2? I think so. Let's find out. Instead of building, I will write window. That should be the one. Yup. Scroll up. So that's what I did. I copied this value and I changed it from building to background window. Building to window, and I added the margin. Margin is very easy to add. That's not a problem. Now we go to the next step 102. The windows are stacked on top of each other on the rightmost purple building. Yes. Turn the building into a flexbox parent. Wait a second. And use the flex wrap property to put the windows side by side and push them down to a new row when they don't fit. I think we're going to use the 3 properties. So जल्दी मैं उठा के लाता हूँ वो properties को. कहाँ गया? justify content. Where are you? Why do I not see it? Justify content. Display. कहीं नहीं है. क्या बात है? We did so many things. So we're going to make it a flex. Hence the flex wrap property. So to make it a flex box, make it into a flex box, हम लोग को डालने पड़ती है values display flex, which I just copied. So I don't need to write this and paste it here. So display into flex. Then what are we to do? So use the flex wrap property. तो इसकी जगह हम लोग लिखते हैं, चलो इसको रखते हैं. We'll edit this. So flex hyphen wrap to put them side by side. Is there such an entry? We'll have to check W3 schools and push them down to a new row when they don't fit. I don't think we are supposed to use justify for now. So flex wrap. So we have W3 schools open here and it shows me the flex wrap property. How many do we have? So flex wrap. Okay. So instead of that was it. So we made it a flex box. So it became a flex box and we wrapped it. तो कंटेनर से बाहर ना ओवरफ्लो करे. This building is going to have another triangle on top. Okay, give the top section a border top. Okay, ये तो उठाना ही पड़ेगा border top values. करते don't worry. So this building is going to have another triangle on top. So I think if before में हमने क्या डाले थे? Which one will we use? So this building is going to give the top section of border. Give the top section. Which one is the top section? ये सब windows हैं. FB4B. तो FB4A ही होना चाहिए. Okay. Then let me paste these values. इसको बंद कर देते हैं. यहाँ से FB4B उठा लेते हैं values को. What else are we do you need? Give the top section. Okay. And use your building color variable as the color. Okay. So only this then. Opening bracket. Sorry, I pressed command down. That took me to the end of the page, which I didn't want. So what are we to do? This building is going to have another triangle on top. Right now it's here. It should be here because it's FB4. It should be FB4A. Yep, triangle on top. So give the top section. So instead of bottom, I will write top. Border top को मिलेंगे values. Yeah, leave that then. ये transparent है ना, तो इसको हम लोग change कर देते हैं. So from left it will become top. Sorry, TOP. Okay. So 5V height, not W. So width. Viewport height, solid transparent. We have the border top value. and border left. Acha, so border left, what will it do? That is 8 VW viewport width. So 8 VW, that is 8 viewport width, solid, and uses your building color variable as the color. हाँ तो इसका ले लेते हैं ना, building color 1. Is that it? Let's check. So this building is going to have another triangle on top. Yup. Give the top section a border top. Okay. 5 VH viewport height, solid, transparent, and a border left, that is 8 VW viewport width with solid, and uses this color, whatever this color is, which is the first color. Now we are on step 104. On to the next building. So now we're going to build the next building, and before I do any of that, let me just show you guys how much we've done so far. Let me remove the borders for our, wow, these buildings look surreal. Very cool, very cool, very cool. You can see all the borders have disappeared, and because of the borders it looked weird before, but now it doesn't. Now they look artistic. And that is a pole. That is a pole. That's a pole. Okay. Now we have 2 more buildings left to edit. Great. So step 104. Here we go. क्या बता रहा है ये? On to the next building. It's the green one. This is the green one. There are 2 green ones, but yeah, we're going to edit this now. Give it a repeating linear gradient. Repeating linear gradient हमने reuse किया है. With your building color from 0% to 5. With your building color, so we'll probably use this. And so let's try and type this. Background linear gradient in the, ये भी डाल देते हैं. There is no degree, so you can just write variable building hyphen color hyphen color 2. अच्छा हाँ नहीं, variable भी ब्रैकेट्स में आएंगे. And this will be in 2 slashes. Yep, you heard that. It's a repeating linear gradient. So repeating linear gradient. First color is variable building color 1. Sorry, not 1. It should be 2. Then we put the second. And let me copy this variable. This will begin from 0%, so we don't need to mention the percent. So next line में डाल देते हैं. So enter. So what does this say? With a building color from 0% to 5% and transparent from 5% to 10%. So what I'll do is I'll put it 5% here. अच्छा, इधर भी comma है. So comma, enter. Transparent 5%. Comma, space, enter. It doesn't matter if we put a space. Transparent, and is it 10%? It is 10%. And now we can see it. We have the green light, but the rest of it is transparent. How will we give the transparent one a look is a task. Now we will add another repeating linear gradient. So that's how we will do it. So यहाँ से यहाँ तक copy किया, comma space, give it a 90 degrees, तो ऐसा line बनेगी. बाप रे, you guys can barely see that, can't you? Let me read this first. So below the one you just added, give it a 90 degree direction. So यहाँ पे मैं लिखूँगा 90 DEG commas, and you can see that that has appeared, whatever that is. थोड़ा zoom कर देता हूँ. Oh, okay. Nope, zooming will not help. Zooming in will not help. What else are we to do? So use your building color from 0 to 12%. So instead of 5, this will become 12, and this will 12 to 44. 12 to 44, and we can see these. This has become a window now. Good stuff. और कुछ बाकी है क्या? Yes, we are to add a semicolon. और क्या बाकी? Let's check. Add another repeating linear gradient. डाला. With the one you just added, give it a 90-degree direction. डाला. Use a building color. Okay, वो भी डाला. And a window color. Oh, so we're not supposed to make it transparent. हाँ, तो building अच्छा window का भी color अच्छा आ जाएगा. So this, I'll paste this. Instead of building, I'll write window, and I can copy this. That looks, yeah, that is much better. Now what does this say? 106. You don't need the background color for this building anymore, so you can remove that property. Yep, हटा दी. And we can remove that property, and we removed it. Now we are on step 107. Finally you made it to the last building. Now we are on the last building. Wow. I'm just going to crack a few knuckles. I just cracked a few knuckles, yeah. So add a repeating gradient to it. Copy करना चाहिए था with a 90-degree direction. हाँ, तो 90-degree वाला repeating linear gradient उठा देता हूँ. And use the building color from 0, 10, 10 to 30. यही है. अरे वाह. That is close. Thank you so much. Copy. And they don't want it. Okay, yeah, they don't want to. हाँ, but इसमें transparent भी लिखना पड़ेगा, तो then मैं ये ले लेता हूँ. यहाँ से यहाँ तक का टेक्स्ट. I'll paste it. And what will we do? So we'll also give it a 90-degree. So 90-degree, comma, and that is there. So add a repeating gradient to a. Okay, use the building color. ये क्या कलर, कौन सा कलर होगा इसका? Building color 3. It will ask us to add another repeating gradient probably. So ये 0 to 10%, and then 10% to 30%. So 10 का 30. That's what it looks like now. It is weird, but it does the job. So add another repeating gradient to this building. इधर से उठाएंगे, but use your window color instead of two transparent colors. देखा, तो यही उठाते हैं. Let's copy this, guys. Notice from where I've copied it. ऊपर जो ये कॉमा है उसके पहले से मैंने टेक्स्ट से लेकर के कॉपी किया था, so that I don't need to come down here and put a comma again and then paste it. So when I place the cursor here, I just press Command V and it will paste the comma and the spacing and the line breaks. Great stuff. So यहाँ पे गए, यहाँ पे paste किया. You can see it pasted the line breaks and the comma. So I don't need to write all of that. I just need to tweak a few things. So add another repeating, make it the same as the one you just added. Okay, except don't add the 90-degree direction, and use your window color instead of two transparent colors. So building colors will change. 3, इसको भी 10 रखेंगे, इसको भी 10 कर देंगे, इसको 30 कर देंगे. And the building color is this, so window color will also become 3, and now it looks very neat. There is something still wrong. हाँ वो 90 degrees हटा देंगे. So now it looks like that. Nice. We are almost there, guys. Step 108. I think 10 more steps to go. We can do it. Don't you worry, child. Oh, it's only 3:20. 3 hours 20 minutes. क्या है यार? In 3 hours 20 minutes में तो ये सब खत्म कर देंगे. क्या बोल रहा है ये? So you can remove the background color for this building now since it isn't needed. Okay. Yes, it is not. Oh, sorry. So by mistake I pressed command option right. So when I press command option right, I can move tabs. So if I press command option left, I'll move to this tab. If I press command option left again, I will move to the next tab. It's a very weird thing, but the number of tabs you have, if you only want to move one tab, you can also use control tab, or if you are closer to the Windows and the alt button, then you can use that. For Mac users, it's command option left right. For Windows users, it's control alt left right. Moving on. So this is the tab. Anyway, where were we? So you can remove the background color. So let's remove the background color, and then we can go to the next step. Now we are on 110. The buildings are done. Now we will go back to we are already at the asterisk selector and remove the border. You apply to everything at the beginning of the pages at the beginning, and the buildings will come together. That's true. We just saw the preview a few times. These buildings do look realistic. That is a nice color. And we can go to the next step. I think it's only tweaking now. Now we'll add sky to background buildings. Nice. So I'll write sky. We're going to define the sky class now. We're going to make a background for the skyline. Yes, of course, why not? So now we are on step 112. I think this will be finished quickly before 3 hours and 30 minutes pass. So what does this say? Give the sky a class, or give the sky class a radial gradient. So instead of linear gradients, now we're going to use radial gradients. So first, because it is a class, I will make it a class selector, not a type selector or any kind of other selector. So .sky curly bracket. Oh, sorry, I have to click on it. To place the cursor first. So .sky space curly brackets, and I'll write radial gradient. Oh, sorry, radial gradient is not a property. Sorry, background is the name of the property, and we'll give it the radial gradient function. Inside these, we'll first mention the first value. So paste, that is the first color value. 0% है तो उसको कुछ करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Then we can move to the next color, which is FF66 20%, and you can see the color coming together. You can already see that this is the radial gradient. तो ये अंदर वाला color है जो 20% है, and this is the sky. What if I were to remove this? As you can see, which is radial gradient, मतलब radius वाला gradient. Okay. Then अच्छा इसको 21% था और not 20%. Okay. And BBEEFF at 100%. So hash BBEEFF. Wow. Okay, that looks like day. BBEFF at 100%. So 100%. Okay, and semicolon, of course. So that's what it looks like during the day. That will be your sun. Great. Why does it not pass? Let's check. So the sky class uses a radial gradient. We use background, then we make the radial gradient, and the first argument is FFCF33 then FF66 at 21 and BBEFF at 100%. क्या बता रहे? चलो let's read this. You should give the radial gradient a first color. So this is the first color. Let's mention the 0% so that it understand that it is the first color. FFC FN33. Why not? So what are we doing wrong? Is this FFCF3 3 at 0%? That is the first color. Let's find out. Let's go to W3 schools and maybe that will help us. So background, बैकग्राउंड के अंदर जो प्रॉपर्टी वैल्यूज है we have, can't we use gradient? So gradient, we'll have to search. So I write gradient CSS gradients, CSS linear gradients. Great. So this says radial, linear and conic. We have radial, linear, so we'll go to radial. This is also linear, direction, using angles, multiple color stops. This is all linear. Transparency, come on. Okay. Is that it? Now we are on radial gradient. So what is the syntax? We have to use background hyphen image. Are we supposed to do that? Instead of background. BSCKGROUND, yes. Image. That still doesn't work. हाँ तो ये तो दिया था, बराबर था. Radial gradient. Then shape, size and position. So that is what we are supposed to give first. Where does it say that? So we are supposed to put a comma first. क्या लिखेंगे? Show us an example, please. What? Anyone watching, please help me out. Red 5%, yellow percent, green 60%. और ये भी डाला है. ये मैंने सेमीकोलन डालना चाहिए था, नहीं डालना चाहिए. Is that something what we are supposed to do? What is going on? इसको next tab में open करके रखता हूँ. So give the sky class a radial gradient. Gradient के अंदर ब्रैकेट्स होते हैं, कहीं और भी चेक कर लेते हैं. लीनियर ग्रेडियंट के अंदर भी ब्रैकेट्स होते हैं, वेरिएबल बिल्डिंग कलर भी होते हैं. We are not using building colors here. We're using these colors. This is FFCF33 and it also has the hash value of this color and we can see in the preview. So what's wrong? You should give the radial gradient. This is the first color. I should have read it. Yep. No one that's watching, don't tell me. I know what I did wrong. So copy this. 0 to 21%. Sorry, 0 to 20%. Now we have a sun that looks very weird, but we do. So FFC F33 from 0 to 20%. Then FFF6 at 21% and BBE FF at 100%. I think that should work. It worked. All I had to do was read it again. Now we are on step 113. Oh god, I wasted a lot of time trying to made a mistake. Anyway, at the top of the sky gradient color list, okay, where you would put a direction for the gradient. Yes, यहाँ पे direction for gradient, add circle closest corner at 15%, and that phrase will be taken by it. Okay, let's change this. And you can hear that background music too. Achha, so 25%. What if I were to try 55%? Then it would move here, and the size also increased. Some magic. Okay, but there is also some great music in the background. Okay, this will move the start of the gradient. Okay, so it also explains why and what it does. So this will move the start of the gradient to 15% from the top and the left. So that must be the top value and that must be the left value. It will make it end at the closest corner, and it will maintain a circle shape. हाँ तो ये circle shape भी आ गया, but it looks blurry. Must be a part of the radial gradient. It's supposed to look blurry. Who knows? Okay, so that's done. Now we're going to use a media query. I think based on conditions, मतलब अगर आप रात को देख रहे हैं तो उसको आपको रात को दिखेगा, अगर आप दिन में देख रहे हो तो आपको दिन में दिखेगा. That is very responsive. Variables. So we're going to use a media query. Change styles based on certain conditions, and they look like this. We changed it for the viewport for the previous previous project. So let me copy this itself. इसका ही कुछ काम आने वाला है. Now what are we to do? So add an empty media query at the bottom of the style sheet with the condition of max width. हाँ अच्छा, तो हमने जैसे अलग अलग व्यू पोर्ट में वो सिटी अलग अलग दिखेगा. कुछ cities probably गायब भी हो जाएंगे. If I do this now, it moves like a picture because all of it is literally a gradient. So gradients are images. Okay, so let's change this. So max width to 1000 pixels. हाँ मतलब डॉक्यूमेंट साइज अगर 1000 या फिर उससे छोटी होगी, मतलब ये वेब पेज की साइज़ अगर 1000 पिक्सल से छोटी होगी तो ये सारे कंडीशंस रन होंगे. नाइस. Copy and paste your whole sky class along with all of its properties and values into the media query. अच्छा, वही sky ढूंढने चलो. Wait. Is the sky above us? That is not the sky. Let's read this before we copy the things that we don't understand. You are going to make another color scheme for the skyline that changes it from day to night. You are going to need to scroll past the editable region. Yes, you are going to need to scroll past the editable to copy the class. ऊपर होना चाहिए sky सबसे अच्छा यहाँ पे. Okay. So we're going to copy or cut. Let me cut it. अगर कुछ गलती हो गई तो then I can just press Command Z and it will paste. Copy and paste. Yep. तो इसको कॉपी कर दिया है and we'll paste it in here. We did it. We're going to make another color scheme for the skyline that changes from day to night. ठीक है, चलो copy and paste कर दिया है and we move to the next step. Step 116. 3 steps only, guys. Do not worry, we are almost there. So in the sky class of the media query, change the to FFCF33. So to FFCF33 to FFFF66. अच्छा CCC करना है. Okay. Oh. अच्छा. Why are we changing this? Are we making it the night? Okay. दोनों को CC कर दिया. अभी FFF तो अभी हम लोग 445 करेंगे. Okay. And now BBEF to 223. That is dark. Yup. You can see that it's dark here. It's the moonlight. Now we will add a root selector inside media. To the top of the media query, then define all four of the building color variables. अच्छा ऊपर से ले लेते हैं ना. So where were we? So we were here. We are still inside media. So I'll press tab. Add a root selector to the top of your media query. So we added a root selector. Then we find all four of the building color variables to see. Use the value 0000 there. So this नहीं इसको ऐसे कर देता #000 all the buildings. अच्छा ऐसा. Yeah, it doesn't look good. Yeah. Now we'll change the color of the buildings. देखा वो सब text add किया था वो गया. Should have copied it. And I will. Now we go to step 118. That is the last step, guys. So lastly, in the root selector of the media query, it is redefine all four of the window color variables. Indentation there. Okay. So lastly, in the root selector, all of them will become 777. Sorry about that. And now we have a dark. तो इसको थोड़ा रीसाइज छोटा कर देंगे तो ये क्या बन जाएगा ऐसा. और if it's more than 10,000 pixels, then it will be bright. Let's try and preview it. So it looks dark here. Variables are primarily used with colors, and that's how you use them, but they can be given any value and used on any property. इसको मैं 100 करूँ तो then it's day. That is nice. And it's night now. 100, then it's day again. And this is night. Nice. Okay, makes sense. And that's how you use them, but they can be given any value and used on any property. Your project looks great. I'm sure there will be a button, तो अगर हम लोग button को दबाएं तो day night हो जाता है. That's probably how the day night settings work. That's probably how we can use media settings to change that. बटन को दबाएंगे और वो day settings को night settings में convert करेगा. That will be some good stuff. We are done with this tutorial, and it took what 3 hours and 40 minutes. 3 hours and 40 minutes to finish this project. Great work, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And now I'm going to take a quick break, and I will see you guys back again. What time is it? It is 4 o'clock. I will see you guys back again at 5 o'clock, I think. Yeah, 5-ish. And we'll see you. Even if I don't see you guys at 5, you'll also thank you, mummy. So maybe at 5, maybe at 5:30. Let's see. And yeah, it has been a hell of a ride with this. Anyway, ask me later for this, and we're going to create a freeCodeCamp logo. That's not going to take a lot of time. Oh yeah, I was wrong. We're going to make a newspaper article. Yeah, that will take some time. So you know what, I'll be back. I'll refresh myself a little. आप लोग भी अपना नाश्ता वास्ता कर लीजिए. आप ब्रश वश shower वाले ने तो ले लीजिए. I think I'm going to need a shower. I definitely going to need a shower. So I'll do that, and I will see you guys at 5 o'clock, 5:30, something like that. Of course, I will schedule the live video for you guys so you can join immediately whenever I schedule it the next. Anyway, I will see you guys at the next live video. Until then, ciao.